Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Dies to Hitstep with Numbers and Mickle. We are going to be making a tier list today. Now that the balance patches are finally over and the game is kind of in a more finalized state. And yeah, first thing we're gonna do is just determine the tiers and ignore the ads if I haven't blurred them out. I also ignore
We
that.
have this one at top.
All right.
Um, I think we're good to do the tiers as we go. I don't think there's an S
Yeah.
plus. Do any of you think there's an S plus tier right now?
I do not.
I
Because I
wanna
don't.
say I wanna say terrible, but that's terrible. Maybe no, Vio might be a bit high there,
I
but
feel
it's
like
like
S
one.
plus is like far and away the best, or
I
like
feel like I
above the
feel
rest
like
by a significant gap.
mm, in my mind, I feel like
Um,
that's just terrible.
we could, I guess, we'll talk about it when we get to it.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
If we need a tier for that, you want to just go in order?
Yeah, sure. So I guess we will start with Chi. Coretta.
we're doing what's it? We're doing
Um,
alphabetical order. I see.
is that what
Shredder,
that is?
one above the lowest tier is what I would say.
So
What
you'd
is
say
your
A.
like? What are your thoughts on her overall?
Mm, I mean, like a how do you put this? I guess she's technically what constitutes as a grappler character in this game.
I
Does that make any sense?
think I see it.
You're basically
I
it's like
yeah.
there's a lot of good reactive stuff. There's not a lot of good. There's like very few good proactive stuff, and because there's so few, like Blink, it's like the one thing you watch out for. And it's the one thing that hurts the most.
Yeah, she doesn't have much initiative with pretty much
Mm,
any of her decks, which is the biggest issue. The only thing she has, the only deck she runs that like um is able to like even have set play to push initiative is STD. Um,
I
but we
disagree. I
don't.
think STD is still very defensive.
Yeah, but it's like set play, so it sets up stuff where you get to go in and get to actually interact. Normally, with most Shredder decks,
Like, yeah.
you don't have a way to really push initiative, and they have to kind of step towards you for you to be able to do stuff. Well, STD generally lets you play make a little bit more.
Mm,
I think that definitely holds Shredder back. Her damage output is pretty solid. It's definitely amongst the higher end. She's got some crazy high roll stuff, like probably the most consistent high roll in the cast.
yeah, you can easily design a
Um,
deck that just goes into itself over and
but her
over.
neutral just isn't there, and she really lacks the ability to push forward. Her damage output usually makes up for it because you can very easily build a two touch deck with her.
Mm,
Um, but I don't know. I think she also struggles really hard with tile denial because she
yep.
needs the front. She needs the front more than almost any other character to be able to play neutral, to be able to combo, to do anything. So if you're fighting break, if you're fighting anything that's going to put it something that stops you from going up there, it just sucks. I
Mm,
also think she can struggle against characters with better, like the Harissa type hitboxes where they can quickly output stuff to stop her from boxing up front. So like Queen can kind of do it. Hazel can kind of do it, but not as well. You want that off angle, just be able to put out a wide hitbox to stop her from just running up and weapon twoing you.
mm.
Yeah. Windfall, what do you generally think of her right now? I think she's, I'd probably say C tier, um, one above the bottom. If we're keeping the D tier, which I think it's, we'll see. I think based on what we currently have down, we can adjust it later. I would personally put her C tier. What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts on Chi. So I think Chi is pretty good. I think that in the matchups where she does well, she does quite well. But she also has some matchups where she does not do very well at all. And the issue that she has is that any matchup where she gets outboxed, she tends to struggle because she doesn't really have as many issues fighting somebody that's camping her because a lot of the spells that she wants to play anyway are going to combo towards the back, meaning that she is often running a bunch of stuff that hits you in the back, and that will catch you back there into a combo. But the issue is that she needs to hit her weapons in order to really get things going, and normally she just outboxes you, right? Like you're scared of W2, and you know it's going to hit
Yeah.
you because it's fast. But if you're playing a character with strong boxing tools, like you said earlier, Queen or Harissa, that kind of just off angle you and beat you up front, then it becomes pretty difficult for her to get anything going because she can't hit W2. And she, without being able to hit W2, definitely loses a lot of her damage output, I feel. You can play around W1, but even then, W1 is still, if you have issues
It's
boxing,
so
even hitting
precise and
W1 is
neutral.
still going to be a bit difficult. So she's really reliant on the front. So any strategy that kind of shuts that down makes her pretty difficult to play. But if you're playing a strategy that does not do that, then I think that Coretta tends to perform quite well against
I would
strategies
agree.
that aren't kind of built to shut down the front and keep her out. So yeah, in those situations, if you're playing a strategy that's kind of shutting down the front and keeping her out of it, then she tends to struggle. Whereas if you're not, then I think that she actually does quite well. So I probably I think she's pretty much at the mid tier, wherever that ends up being. Which that might be
That's
B
fair.
tier, that might be the higher end of C tier, but I'd say probably like maybe like lower end of B right now.
Numbers, where are you thinking?
Well, thinking C. I'm also thinking like in terms of like being a of spells hitting the back, like yes, but on the other hand, the not in that hand they're often extenders and not starters. And
Yeah,
considering that there's no like there's not going to be any like future developments on like what spells she can use, so what she's got is what she's got, and I don't think that's going to be enough for trying to like stop camping. There's bomb and wrecking ball, but it's even then it's still not enough.
people just, I don't know. Yeah, I think I agree that she generally does struggle with camping.
I do also trying to think like in terms of trying in terms of like what's it people who don't need the front for against people who don't need the front. I feel like at a certain point, if you can essentially avoid everything that she can do just by looking at their spells, n- she's already in she's already got like big issues.
I think generally her biggest issue is she has very, very like precise areas you need to like position to start her stuff. It's
Positional
you have to
commitment.
hit your weapon one, you have to hit your weapon two, and it's got to be sweet weapon one, or it's not doing anything.
Oh
Or you have
yeah,
to like
she can't play around
super
hit step.
eagle eye snipe something. Dies to
Yeah.
hit stuff, yes.
Yep.
I think generally that level of precision required, which isn't it's not like a you snipe and it hits, it's just you're not hitting those usually. Combined with the fact that she struggles so much with certain matchups, I think I would put her more towards upper C rather than lower B. But I'm fine with either way, wherever she ends up. We can put her either or right now, low B or high C, whichever you prefer, and just see where it ends up.
Hmm. Also trying to think in the context of oops if I'm interrupting anything. But,
Uh,
um,
well, first
also
numbers.
the
What was
people who
your
say that
placement?
she is strong. What I would say C,
You'd say C. All
which
right.
means that the majority is C.
All right. So that won't place her in high C. All
For
right.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
yeah.
Also,
I'm
just
also
for
trying to think of
moving
like
on to
what people who say that she's good. Like there's, I mean, like and it's like she can play absolutely, but it's like the ones who, but it's like the thinking that she's overpowered, and it's like trying to think why. Because it's like
Yeah, I don't know what the
I remember talking about this like in like a VOD review, and it's like, now, now that because you're fighting Chi, now you're staying in the back, and then it's like, yeah, you have to wait until you can't move forward. But it's like Hugh, if Hugh could deny a 3-away that well, then Whiplash would be solving all the 3-away issues, which it doesn't.
This is correct. Yeah, she's not just an instant 3-away destroyer. I've actually found a lot of success just camping top row against her, which is why I think STD does solve most of her issues.
I'm thinking also
Windfall.
for proactive play. Sorry,
No, you're good.
the only things they feel like you could potentially put some kind of consistent output at the back is like lockdown and 0 damage poisons, but those are scuffed. Those are really scuffed. Lockdowns die to steps, and then those 0 damage poisons you need to be able to follow up after that, or it does nothing.
Yeah, and generally you're going to be struggling to follow up because you just spent mana on that.
True.
What were you saying, Windfall?
No, I was just saying for the rest of the characters going forward, I think it'd be best if we kind of did something similar to our last tier list video, where we just have each person give it their opinion, and then we can discuss afterwards, just to make sure we get all of our opinions out.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Well, we'll do Dread. We'll just go numbers, Windfall, me.
All right, sounds cool. Dreadworm.
I don't have enough Dreadworm yet. You guys go first on Dreadworm. I'm not too sure what I have to think about her.
All right, cool. I guess I'll start then. All right, so Dreadworm, my baby, my first character that I ever played in this game. I think that she's right now. I think she's okay. I don't think she's terrible. But I also don't think that she is doing anything really that great. And obviously she has really good off angle. Claw swipe is claw swipe's really nice at countering steps. It's really nice at stuffing a lot of spells, counter hitting the heck out of literally everything. I love that. And then Garnet Flare is really good for baiting people. It's good for confirming lockdown, popping their shield, laughing at them. And also really good for extending out of steps, although you do need to hit confirm the step in order to really be able to set that up, because obviously if you don't do that, then they can hit step, and well, it dies to hit step, haha. So she has things, but her weaknesses are very real. Not having a fast hitbox that you can throw out in front of you in this game really sucks. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of situations where, you get rooted with Dread, you can't mash. What are you mashing?
Yeah.
You can't click anything.
Yeah.
Right? If you get into any situation where other characters just mash and then don't have to deal with that situation, Dread can't do that. And that is a very big drawback to have in this game. And then I think her other kind of severe weakness is that I don't really think that she has any crazy spell synergy currently. I think that Entangle Whirl used to go pretty crazy, but she lost the Whirl follow-up. I think if you do it like Entangle, Garnet Flare, Whirl, you can't combo out of it anymore, I believe.
Yeah, that is accurate.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't. It's a very it was the trade-off for making Whirl not broken anymore, but I will happily accept that. Cause,
Whirl was pretty
that crap
broken.
was broken when you could just combo everything out of Whirl. I'm so happy that got nerfed.
Yeah.
But yeah, trade-off was then Dread lost Entangle Whirl again. Even though it popped shields, but it's not true anymore. So you can't really rely on it. But yeah, with that, you still have lockdown, and that's still a very solid strategy. But I don't really think she has any other crazy synergies that are really going to make her competitive at all. She's just, she can be played. I think she can do all right. But I can't really see her performing that well. So I probably put her in around. I think she's probably around where she is, to be honest.
No, that's lower than I thought it'd be.
Did you want to go next numbers or want me to?
I think You go first. Yeah. You feel like I might
So
miss something?
I definitely actually disagree with that. I'm a Dread believer. I think she's pretty good. I've been using her a lot lately, and I think being able to poke with both of her weapons to lead into steps and into auto is very potent. You can use it almost like Comet Northwind stuff on Terrible. It's not quite as effective as that, but we'll get to that later. Um, and I think it's really good at leading into steps and setting up for them. And she has some of the best built-in step auto reward in the game. Because you basically just run stuff that you can do step auto, Garnet Flare, into spell, and it's so absurdly plus. It's like step missiles used to be. Um, so you'll do like step auto, Garnet Flare, Bouncing Blade, and then you get to follow up with Imagination after it. Or you'll do
Yeah.
it with Kunai or Javelin or
You'd
or
usually
anything.
do Javelin, Knife, or Reaper, and then into Rocket once you return.
Yeah, it's
That
not
was like
usually what I've
combo.
been
That's a
running.
combo that people did back in the day, and it still works. Still works very nice.
I'll post the deck I've been running actually in the
Mm.
group chat we're in. It's Step Auto, Kunai, Javelin, Bouncing Blade, Whirl, Entangle, Minigun, Hyper Beam. I've been using it in tournament. I used it in ESL, and I've been getting some good wins with it. It feels pretty strong. I get the weakness of the no built-in forward facing just quick hitbox, but I think that can mostly be mitigated just through positioning and through her spells. She's got good damage, she's got good neutral. You can poke and confirm, and I do think she's the best user of lockdown. So I think she has combo dread and she has lockdown like break dread, and I think both of those are very strong strategies overall. I think she's a pretty good character. Let me look at the list. Like, I think she does good into Chi. I don't think she does good into Gunner. That matchup kind of sucks. But I think
Gun.
generally across
Hmm.
the board, Hazel sucks too. Oh my, does Hazel suck? That matchup's garbage.
It doesn't matter because Terrible is around, and that one you don't need to do as much practice as Dreadworm to get right.
Yeah, I'm more so talking about for Dread's matchup spread.
Yeah.
I think she does generally well into most of the cast. I think the structure characters really mess with her. Um, but aside
Yeah.
from that, like I think Celicy is a very strong character right now, and I think Dread beat Celicy, which is pretty valuable.
100%.
I think
100%. I
Mm.
think she
yeah,
definitely wins that matchup.
she just puts way too much out there. Um, and any characters that like just spam boxing options or spam trying to do stuff like that up front, she just kind of negates because she can just run lockdown, and it's a very strong strategy. I think she does pretty solid into like a lot of the cast actually. So
Yeah.
I'd say she's proud. I definitely think she's better than Shredda. I'd say based on what we're looking at, I'd put her like high B almost. But
Mm.
we can see where she ends up lying. I don't think her weaknesses are as pronounced as Windfall does, but he's much more experienced on the character than me, especially against more higher level players. So I will definitely defer to his knowledge on that. Personally, I have her probably in B tier based on what we're looking because I think she's defended. I definitely have her better than Shredda personally. What are your thoughts, numbers?
Hmm. I'm thinking of anything new to say besides what you guys said because it's more or less what I think as well. I think she's good as a defensive character. You don't want to play. You definitely can play. You play her offensively too. Well, she has good poke, and her way of confirming into them is generally quite efficient as well. She could do weapon one into minigun or auto slash very on both sides. I'm pretty sure, and then there's and being able to do Garnet Flare into shield or dodge gets throws off people a lot, makes it quite difficult to match her lane if you are a step ahead of the opponent. And it's like hard
Yeah,
for them
it's
to
hard
catch
to
up.
walk into her lane, but
She had,
once you're
generally,
there, you're better
yeah.
off.
Generally speaking, her grind game is quite good. And grind game is better than most, I would think.
What do you mean by that?
Like basically like long lasting games rather than like the
Like she does well in really drawn out matches.
yeah. In that sense, like I'm not too sure because I don't know what exactly is high roll at this point besides getting destroyed in 22 seconds by Vio in Japan. But and aside from that, it's like I think the games last long enough where she should be able to comfortably play out her game plan.
I generally
Interesting.
agree. I think she definitely can get her game plan going.
Hmm.
Windfall, you had mentioned I think we're good to just discuss it now, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Or numbers, where do you think you'd put her?
Dreadworm?
Like just yeah, if you had to
B, I
just
would
pick.
think. I would I
Okay.
think I think she's definitely better than Chiretta. She's not having like any of the struggles that Chiretta has, but she's probably not the best option to take. Something of middle ground where it hits where people don't quite pay attention to. If that makes any sense, I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Definitely
Kind
B.
of.
I'm thinking B in my mind. She's
That's fair.
yeah.
So we're good to like discuss it now. Windfall. You had mentioned that your primary concerns with her are the what was I what were we talking about? The
Mashing or
no, it was the sorry, I'm losing my train of thought really bad right now. Her lack of a forward facing quick hitbox. Do you think that if you just run decks that make up for that, it kind of negates that weakness, or do you think it's still kind of a big deal?
So you can kind of try to build around that weakness. Um, but usually the thing is, once you start building a lot of the I'm gonna build projectiles to start handling that area in front of me, you die. Her bad matchups are worse because you die even harder to
Yeah, I know
Hazel.
you're
You
right.
die even harder to Queen. It's one of the reasons why like the lockdown deck has like it's one of the reasons I run the lockdown deck instead of running um the more invade based one that's more combo focused because that deck can hit really hard. Dreadworm can hurt badly.
Yeah, that's the
Like
deck I've been
she hits
running.
hard in her more damage focused strategies, but the issue with those is that as soon as you run into her bad matchups where she can't rely on her weapons to hit anything or confirm anything because they're just getting eaten by structures, then now it's just like you can't confirm anything or get any meaningful damage because all your attempts, just like claw swipes getting blocked by blocks or by chest piece, right? And now your only hope is to just land raw step slash, which if that's the only thing your opponent has to worry about, that can be pretty difficult, especially if they're really good. Um, so
Yeah, definitely.
that's kind of like where the issue is. So she has it. She has the damage, right? It's just her bad matchups are really bad. But
That's
I
fair. I
do think
think
that she does fine into most characters, but the characters that she doesn't do fine into just feel really, really bad. Unless you play a much slower strategy like Lockdown Dread, which even then you can't use
yeah,
Garnet Flare to confirm Lockdown against Hazel because it
no,
just
you
gets blocked.
cannot. She
yeah.
just be placing blocks and it's not a fun time. I
Yeah.
do agree generally with a lot of that, but
But I no, I think she could go for a B placement. I think that's fine.
that's fair. I think we're fine with that then.
Yeah.
Because I think she has a lot going for her, and I think generally you can build pretty effectively around her weaknesses, without them being too much of a hindrance.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm fine with B with her. There was one other point I was gonna make with her. Yeah, I think that generally, unless they're running structures, she's really good at finding hits because of just being able to layer projectiles along with her steps.
Big
So I think she's
translation.
really good at finding those steps just because of that. which makes her fairly solid anti-back row and anti-cam, unless they're running a bunch of tile denial. So are we good on Dread?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep.
Cool. So Gunner.
Yep, Chinsu.
We can do-
I mean Gunner. Laura.
Numbers, what do you think?
I'd rather you guys go first because you
Okay,
have the most
we can do
knowledge on
Windfall
it.
then, maybe.
Yeah.
Windfall, me, you. We can just do that order.
Yeah, I have not been playing the game nearly as much as all of you guys, for the record.
Good.
So
What do you
like,
think,
I
Windfall?
can only see so much.
I didn't hate this character till Shoal started playing him. I didn't.
Have you played it? Have you
Really?
played it?
I would have.
Have you played it?
Huh?
Have you fought him yet?
Oh, I fought you using
Like
his
his
deck.
gun?
Like
It's so stupid.
it,
I
yeah.
hate it
Oh
so
my
much.
god, dude. Oh my god, bro.
It's the most.
It is just
The
the
funny part about
lamest,
it is
most unfun, campiest strategy that's highly effective and it works. And it's just like, oh, you got hit by his hit scan full screen W1 and you're on fire and then you get combusted into like 20 plus damage. And you know, and then the worst part is just like with beam, do they make it so that you can get out of beam without like having to hit step?
Wait, what do you?
Or
mean?
was that like was that
no,
a thing? I might be thinking back too far.
So double laser still catches hit step. Yes.
It's still okay.
Double laser, yeah. Double laser off cooldown does cat. Charge beam off cooldown does cat stuff.
Gunner's W1 is just insane. It is just insane. It hits so hard. Gunner has one of the hardest hitting shield breaks in the game because you can just spam W1, and if a single one of those, if you get hit by the third one, the one that spawns the fire, like the second you get shield broke, you just take like 20 damage off of a shield break from Gunner, and then he's good at shield breaking you because combust. Like, oh my god! The thing is, you actually want to kind of shield against Gunner a lot.
Shield against Gunner.
Yeah, like
what's his shield break setup? He's not doing that much.
The thing is that you're just gonna eat chip from Gunner if you don't use shield because he runs Paragon and Paragon's dumb, and the only real counter to Paragon is shielding it. It doesn't help that Paragon can one shot your shield if you're just unlucky. And
he runs Snowfall too, so
yeah, so he just runs a lot of stuff that you want to shield, like Snowfall, Frostpox, Paragon, and in general, just to kind of avoid getting chipped out by him. Like you kind of want to manage, micromanage your shield to avoid damage, but make sure you don't overdo it. But you could also just screw up or just get unlucky by Paragon RNG, and you're just like, oh, you got shield broke, and then he just spams W1. You just took 20 damage because your shield got broken. Off of like just his weapon. He doesn't need any spells. Just shoot anyway. But that's enough ranting about W1, dude. W2. Oh my god. Just the most stupid disengage tool. Is there any disengage tool that's better than this?
Nope.
I don't think there's any other disengage tool that's even comparable.
Like
I don't think anyone else has a disengage tool that's not just summon something in front of you.
Like literally, just oh, things aren't going well with W2. Immediately out, combust. Get comboed. Literally. And then on top of that, like he can use it offensively as well by doing step, then W2, and then combust, or probably some other. I don't even know if you even need combust if you do it with steps, to be honest. You could probably. Can you combo off of that without combust if you use steps? Is there some shenanigans you can do? I don't know.
What do you mean? Like
if you do like step / W2, like do you need combust, or is there other things you can do?
Let's see. I'm in the lab.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like for positioning's sake, you still need combust. If you're at the opponent's turn, then you do weapon 2 and then weapon 1. That's gap for sure.
Like there'll be times where go
I will say, if you're doing it like not on a step and you're just on your side of the field, it true combos back into gun.
Yeah, that's gap 0. You can also just do weapon 2, and you could do a cherry bomb into Snowfall or Paragon, and then into combust.
Sure can.
And if you could even do cherry bomb into Paragon into step slash, because Paragon is like plus 20, plus 19.
Yeah, if they're up close, you can do weapon 1, weapon 2, weapon 1.
Yeah.
So you laser, then burst back, then laser again, and it's true, and you can go into Paragon or Snowfall or whatever you want.
Seems
And
clean
oh
to me.
my.
But yeah, all right. Anyway, let me finalize my placement and thoughts
Yes.
right quick, and then we'll get to you numbers
I'll
or whoever's
talk
go
about
up
it, yeah.
next.
Oh, I've got
But yeah, I think Gunner, very very strong character, just has really good weapons. W2's great for boxing. It's off angle. It's also great with steps. It's also a great disengage tool, great defensive tool. Just really strong overall, and then it gives him combust energy, which combust does a lot of damage and it's 1 mana, so that definitely is pretty threatening. And then you got W1, full screen, hit scan. That's already like a very strong thing in this game. And then on top of that, not only is it full screen and hit scan, it combos, and then it spawns fire just like his W2 does. It spawns fire, and the third hit does 5 damage. It does 5 damage. Did I mention that it does 5 damage, right? Am I?
Well, 4 damage plus flame.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it does 5 damage. So
4 damage plus force flame tick.
But yeah, this character just has
Revenge.
really strong tools. I think probably easy S tier. Like I think he does really well into pretty much every character in the game. Um, anyway, we'll move on to whoever is next. Numbers or Mickle, whichever one of you is ready.
If you want to go numbers, you can. I have stuff I want to say as well.
So this iteration of Gunner was something that from release or maybe even before that, we've suspected that if Gunner was ever meta, it'd be like this. And for Gunner, what's it? My mind's blanking a bit. Gunner does a combo, but the individual chip hits hard for sure. And it's like his neutral is really good because his charger beam is meaty. It's not the, but it's like that's like the say what makes him like actually able to do something proactive rather than camp all day. Camp and disengage all day. Think. I feel like when Gunner feels like he's at his strongest when he can reliably proc poison. And do you guys think so about that?
I think poison's definitely like strong on him, but I don't personally run it. And I know Shoal doesn't run a ton of poison either. Let me check what deck he's running right now. I don't know specifically. Let me. You can keep going. I'm just gonna pull up what his deck is.
Yeah, just trying to resurface memories.
Yeah, he's not running any poison right now either.
Well, that's a change I have not seen coming. Good to know. What has he been running instead? I noticed like intern.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, how
what do you
strong
guys
are
think
you
about like
thinking he
his
is?
mana management? Like, how does his mana management fare? Do you think like when he's struggling for mana, is it because like casting just like tossing out weapon too often, or is it like?
I think you can very much manage it as a player. I think it's not easy.
Yeah, I feel like it's not as easy of a time as others would have it, I would think.
But I think difficulty of the characters isn't too big of a factor at a certain level. Especially once it's like reasonable to do. Like Shoal does it very effectively. So I think if people are doing it, then the difficulty doesn't really matter too much. How good do you think he is?
I mean, like, chip all you want, but it doesn't matter if you just get if you just get this. If one wrong move means you die. I mean, like, that's just because I know that he's strong. That I even like, despite not being able to play very much, I can play him at a level that's strong enough that I can hear that the JP players hate playing against Gunner. So I know something is definitely right there. Something is very much right there. Man, is that seriously his list? That's even more basic than you thought.
Yeah, no, it's very straightforward. My list
Yeah.
is let me send my list.
So now that if this is meta, it's what it's if this is meta, then it's just what the people wanted, right? They don't like they don't like people comboing for 50 damage. Well, here's the other alternative.
Yeah,
How do you
you
like
just get
this?
mashed chipped at. Oh man, I hate
Yeah.
that character.
Oh 07 for the
Um,
new player experience.
real. What do you, so?
Um,
What tier would you put him in?
S is implying that he's carried. I don't think anyone is
Not
carried for playing
necessarily.
Gunner, so he's staying in A.
I don't
I
think
feel
that's
like S is at a
necessary.
level where it's like you can start like neglecting basic fundamental things that that everyone else needs to like consider and do just do as well or better. So I'm going
I
to put him
don't.
A.
I don't think I necessarily agree that that's required because like
Um,
there can be
I mean, like if
characters
you
that just
went,
have ridiculous return on investment.
the thing is like if we assume like everyone is like peak performance and like Vio is guaranteed top because I know it's like I seen from like from your replays of doing VO and then like me trying to do me trying to play VO. It's like our the aim looks ass, but then it's like when I play against them, I know it's like they're landing very consistent 40s and 50s, like it's nothing. It's like it's the easy shit ever. But it's like if you like try doing this yourself, it's like it's feels almost impossible. It feels like you have to wonder just like how many hours they put into to just like running VO in training mode, or like how
That's fair.
used to the gameplay loop that that they can
Um,
just do that now.
okay, so I guess I'll go over my Gunner thoughts. Character's stupid. Um, I also think Easy S. I think the character's
Mm,
ridiculous. I think him and Terrible, who we'll get to again, um, are just clearly better than the rest of the cast. I think the character just so you can't play structures because he sets them on fire. He has
mm,
one mana structure clear against every structure in the game. And he can do it off angle if they're up front, so he just deals with so much so easy. So you can't camp him out with that. He chips you away with the stupid laser, so you're forced to shield it. Otherwise, double laser just catches at step and you eat a chunk of damage. And then you're forced to use shield a lot. He pops your shield with Paragon or Snowfall or Combust or whatever he's doing, and then you just die because his shield break is ridiculous. Um, I hate, I really hate steps on him because specifically auto slash because his laser forces you to use a lot of vertical movement. Auto slash, the best way to deal with it is a lot of horizontal movement. So he basically locks you
mm.
down to he locks down which axis of movement you're going to move to with two tools at once. So no matter what, you're probably going to get caught by something. So he forces an evil rock paper scissors on you. Um, and the auto slash combust hand specifically is really crazy, or the step auto combust because something not a lot of gunners do or know is that if you're at distance 3 or less, you
Yep.
can do laser auto weapon 2, and the weapon 2 guaranteed hits. At distance 1 or 2, laser auto is true. At distance 3, it's gap 1, which means they get guaranteed combusted.
Yep.
So if they're anywhere other than back row while you're up front and you laser them, you get to hit confirm into auto weapon 2 combust, and it just sucks. So they're forced to run around the back row at risk of that. And if they're running around the back row, auto basically auto tags them because they're not moving horizontally. So you lock down their axes of movement super effectively and then just blow them up for it. Along with that, he's really good at forcing you to engage an approach because he's just going to chip you out regardless of where he's at. So you have to approach his front while he's holding Wrecking Ball, North Wind, Windburst, Paragon, Snowfall, and his steps. And it's just a miserable experience. There's so many characters that just get completely shut down and countered by him. I don't know what like modern Harissa's supposed to do, modern Maple, Violet. Like, there's so many of these characters that just
you just need to land the one combo and that's it.
impossible matchup, garbage tier matchup. Trust.
I would beg to differ. Well, I mean, like,
As someone who
if you
plays
can
the
play
matchup,
consistently well on like B, you probably can just grind. You could just grind her down to dust. If you make one mistake, that's it though.
I
And
mean,
if I mean, like, I guess you could say that for like most high rolls. Like, fuck, this is very
yeah,
my
but like
experience.
you have to. The thing is, if you make that mistake, like when is Gunner putting himself in positions to get blown up by Violet? He just doesn't play in those spots. So she's forced
Uh,
to like make big commitments to try to get her stuff going against him based on the spots he's playing at. And if she whiffs, she's stuck cycling back through her whole deck.
mm,
Well, he's just chipping her out the whole time. Violet really wants the front, and Gunner says no because weapon 2. It's a garbage tier matchup, trust. But yeah, Gunner just trashes half the cast. He's probably has the most hard winning matchups out of any character. There's so many characters that literally aren't allowed to play the game against him because he just chips them out. I think he's also easy S.
I remember when you say Gunner. I remember when back in the day we said that Gunner didn't deal enough damage. It's like
That was a
nothing has
long
changed.
time ago.
Yeah, nothing has changed about him since. The only thing that I see that is like something you couldn't have done since release is explicitly Snowfall being 1 mana.
Yeah,
Everything
Snowfall
else
being
was
good.
possible since the start.
His meta got progressed is a big one.
Basically,
Just
everyone's got pegged down, and he's the last one standing.
I think it's just meta progression too. People got better, people got smarter. So I think if you think he's A and Windfall and I both think he's
I'm
easy
like,
S, we can just round it
you
out
just put him.
to S.
Yeah, I think you just put him S. It's fine. It's not like this is our tier list. It's not one person's.
Yeah, collective.
Alright.
Windfall, do you kind of agree with all that though? Like, did you know about the distance 3 laser auto combust?
I didn't, but I didn't need to know about that to put him in S anyway. So
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I feel like you have to like master reactive shield against his stuff if you want to like be able to not feel like you can't play.
well, that's the thing, right? Is that I spam shield
You
because I
shield and-
can't react.
Yeah,
It's just like
None of
Paragon
this
comes
stuff
out, like, I gotta
reacts.
shield that
Level.
crap, dude, and then, you know, he combos with it. It's just like, oh man. But this character just has such strong tools. But anyway, we can move on now.
Move on to Harissa.
Mm.
All right.
On Harissa. Windfall, what do you think?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll start. All right. So
Yeah, we'll just go in the order of Yumi numbers for all of them.
okay.
Wait, what? Oh yeah.
So for Harissa, so I think that she's still quite good. I think the nerfs definitely didn't matter. I think her damage has notably gone down, and that has hurt the performance of the character. That said, if you still build her for the higher damage variant, she still hurts. I found out the hard way that
Who did
she
you
still
fight?
hurts, but.
Was it Yuki?
It was Yuki, yes. It was
that's
the first time
Not that much
I'd ever fought Yuki. I sniped him in ranked because I really wanted to play against him. And yeah, I got hit and I took like 40 plus damage, and I'm just like, this character can still do that? I'm still what? Yeah,
Yuki
she
hits
can.
like a truck.
Obviously that deck requires
he
a
just
crazy
replaced
amount of
Lasso with
precision.
Dark Grasp, but nothing changed.
But yeah, there is drawbacks though. That deck requires quite a bit of precision. It's not the easiest thing to land the hits that lead to that damage. Now, obviously, it does hurt a lot, but like it's not like getting those hits is simple. And to a point, you could even say that like unless you're Yuki, it's probably not even consistent. Like unless you're him.
I fully agree. I think he's an anomaly.
But But no, I don't think that is like it. The consistency of that is an issue, and then if you are building Harissa towards having a bit more consistency and a stronger neutral, which is usually that's the route that Shoal usually takes, is going for strong neutral, high consistency. Then that's when you're going to see a significant decrease in damage, because kinetic wave damage matters a lot more there, and then also the invade damage nerfs from step slash auto slash all matter there. And yeah, overall losing, like, what did she lose? Like probably like 6-7 damage in total to probably
Her
all of her
combo.
combo strings. For the more consistent strategies, that's a really big deal. Now, her neutral's still really, really good. Primer is still an absolutely insane boxing tool. It's off angle, it's really fast, and it combos you. Off angle combos you, right? If you get hit by it. Into things like minigun and kinetic wave, which, you know, she wants to run. Obviously, she's really good with these spells. And then W2, she still has a teleport. Now to talk about the teleport right quick, teleport is good offensively and defensively. I feel like sometimes the defensive bit can get skimmed over. But offensively, obviously, she teleports. If you get hit by the missiles, she can confirm off of that and combo you. And the missiles literally cover 3 tiles vertically. That's almost an entire column. So it kind of can make you afraid to stand in a column, because you have to worry about getting W2 into something like, I don't know, like minigun or like it used to be lasso. It could still be lasso, just it's not as threatening anymore because it can't pull you in.
Not as often.
Yeah, nowhere near as threatening. But the other thing about W2 is the defensive aspect, where you can warp. Now, because I play root and I play break, I've experienced how annoying that could be when you're actually running those strategies, because you trap Harissa with lockdown, she just warps out. If you don't do something immediately, she just warps out
disagrees.
for free. No other character can do that. No other character can do that. To just get out of a break trap for free, completely for free. Just W2, you're out, right? And then same with root. You root her and you don't do something immediately, W2, she's out, because root doesn't stop her teleport, right? And I feel like that's quite relevant.
Reminds me of that EDEV message.
Yeah.
What?
The fadeaway one. The root teleport fadeaway one.
Wait, what?
So,
oh
well, yeah, I guess if you have fadeaway, then you can get out of, you know, but obviously she has that on a weapon, is what I'm saying. She can always do that. Whereas, like, you'd have to have fadeaway in your hand. For other characters to utilize the teleport to escape, like root or being trapped by break. But yeah, teleport, she just gets that, and then also has offensive tool. It's also an offensive tool in addition to that, and that's just really good. Not to mention that she can also use it as a mix-up tool, where she can just rapidly teleport to the front and whiff punish you, or honestly just catch you off guard, because she can just teleport. She can set teleport in her second column. And all of a sudden, now at any point, she can just warp. And then if you're in the front, you're getting hit by Primer immediately, right? And it's just a really strong tool. And then obviously, I've already went over why Primer's a really strong tool. But it's fair, because in order to utilize all this, her damage is not that great right now. Her damage is definitely much lower, more on the lower end. And then in order for you to get the access to the higher damage, you have to sacrifice a lot of that consistency, which obviously comes with its own set of drawbacks. So I think that she is really good. I'd put her in A. I think that she's really solid right now, but I don't really think that she is an S tier contender.
I definitely agree on the tier list placement of A. I pretty much agree on all fronts. Primer being an off angle, really good, really fast frame data, harass.
It has big implications for the deck building, because you don't need to think about off angle when she herself already does it.
Not for boxing, at least.
I mean, like, you could do. I mean, like, guessing most is like you have auto slash and that's enough. I was remember like trying to do rush on Harissa, because primer into rush works now, but it's like it breaks combos.
Yeah. Did you want to go over like your general thoughts on her?
Nah, not yet.
Okay,
I feel like there might be more in my mind.
I generally think that she's really strong. her boxing is just ridiculous. The fact that it combos off angle, has such good step synergy, gives her access to ridiculous minigun K-wave stuff is all really good. She's still a very similar character to what she used to be. It's just instead of 3 to 2 touching you, she's like 4 to 3 touching you. Which is notable. It's big. It's why she's not S tier
That
anymore.
sounds like a really heavy nerf when you put it that way.
It is. Because she used to be broken. And now she's not even S tier. She's still really good. She still matches up well into a lot of the cast. I think again, any character that really needs to be up front, like I think she farms Violet because of that. She just she just outmashes so hard. Same with against Maple, against Chiretta, that kind of character that needs that spot. She just farms. I think due to the damage nerf, she does struggle more with tile denial now because she needs more hits. She needs more ins. Which are harder to come by now than they used to be. So it is notable. And I think that did make some of her I think needing more hits did make some of her already questionable matchups worse. Like Celici, for example, Varia always historically did pretty well into Harissa's. I think Celici does very well into Harissa now that she needs so many hits, and now that K-Wave got hit so hard. The Hazel matchup, which I know a lot of Harissa's hated, is definitely worse now because she does struggle to get those ins. But I don't think that really holds her back too much when her kit as a whole is just so well rounded and so strong. Because her only quote unquote weakness is the 2 back rows, but like she gets to dedicate her entire deck to dealing with it. Especially when she synergizes so well with Paragon. And Paragon's one of the best inevitability tools in the game, along with steps. She just runs all 3 of those in a lot of decks. So it's like, okay, so is that back row weakness really there in this kind of deck that I'm already wanting to run? Not really. I agree with A tier. I think Harissa's still really solid because she also does, as mentioned, have those crazy high roll decks still too. So she can do pretty much anything. So numbers, what do you think?
What she can and can't do hasn't really changed. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Yeah, the more I think, it's just what she can do is not as strong. I remember trying to experiment with like breakout and what's it, breakout and crossfire, but it's like it gets weird because like how does she extend after that?
Crossfire is great on her.
A crossfire feels good because it's like you could just land it and call it, and that's fine.
Or you land it and it combos into a bunch of walk stuff. So she can do like crossfire walk minigun. She can do weapon 1, walk crossfire walk minigun.
Yeah.
So crossfire like Shoal uses it on it or used it on his main deck.
I could have sworn there was something about kunai that Harissa can't do anymore. Harissa can't do anymore in regards to it, but I can't remember off the top of my head
It was something with like step return pull stuff.
Pretty sure it was
nothing
like
too
I was actually
big.
thinking something like primer and a kunai to move back primer or something like that. No, that doesn't quite sound
Maybe?
right. I know
I don't
that.
know. Nothing
I know it's
too
like
relevant, I don't think.
yeah. So it's like, why is it like so much worse now?
I think it's the damage. The fact that her damage got hit pretty heavily. So she needs more hits.
Yeah.
So where do you think you'd put her?
I mean, like, and since we're doing double A, I'd say A. Kind of feel
Is
like I don't feel like she's like outstanding. No, I think actually A seems about right. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more it feels like she's fine at A.
that's fair. Windfall, did you have anything else you wanted to add
Nope, I think
before
that
we finish off on her?
everything is pretty much covered. So what are we're thinking A tier?
Yes, definitely A. I think we all unanimously agree on A.
I'm
All right.
kind of
Almost
like
one
in
character
my
in
mind.
each
I'm kind
tier
of
now.
putting her the same. Oh, in my
What
mind,
were
I'm
you
kind of
saying?
thinking of like Hersa as like same quality as like shopkeeper in my mind, where it's like the way she works is how do you put it? She's one of the best designed characters in the game, I would think. It's like I got no complaints, even if she were. Not that she's like nerfed. It kind of has me wondering if her prior state, ignoring KAV specifically, would still hold up in the meta like this.
I
And
think so.
probably it probably would be honestly. I would probably take that meta over a gunner meta from what I'm hearing from you guys, because at least the back and forth is like not torturous and honestly engaging. But that's a very subjective thing.
Yeah,
All right.
I think she's still really good. What were you saying about like mid tier or whatever, Windfall?
No, I said that there was a character in each tier now. Like we have Gunner at
Oh,
S,
there is, yeah.
and then there we got Hari and A, and we got Dread and B and Cred and C. So now we're gonna get into I guess the next one.
I'm
Get
We're gonna have to
into the in
start
depth.
ordering them.
Hazel.
So Hazel, what do you think in Windfall?
So I think Hazel's
Mm,
quite good. Obviously, having a permanent structure in this game is a very big advantage because you can use that to block a ton of things, block a bunch of off angles. Just like, oh, north wind, you're scared, you can use the block to block it. Oh, traps, you're immune to traps because you have the block, and it's gonna disarm those traps as long as you're like not in your back column, obviously.
yeah.
Um, and on top of that, you block lines, so obviously just the immediate advantage of having that. And then not only does she have a permanent structure, she has permanent structures. S, plural. She can put
Mm-hmm.
down multiple blocks. It's one of the reasons why the Dread matchup is so awful for Dread, because you're not dealing with one block blocking all your stuff. You're dealing with multiple blocks blocking all your stuff. And
And also, Dreadworm trying to clear destructors is really bad. And was really bad in a neutral standpoint because it's very punishable due to Dreadworm's weapons generally having a high recovery. So if you anticipate it, you cook her.
yeah, so very strong W1, just simply due to the fact it's like it places a permanent structure. In addition to the fact that it places a permanent structure, it also is a combo tool, and it does 5 damage. Now, obviously, it only hits in front of you, so you do have to kind of build around it in order to make it work. But Bonk Hazel hurts. It hits really hard when it does hit. It is not the most consistent thing in the world, but it has seen competitive success on multiple occasions from Coca. Has repeatedly succeeded with that strategy in competitive play at a very high level. So it is a real thing, and it does do a lot of damage. But just overall, her W1 is just super, super good. And then turrets. Turrets are so good. Oh my goodness. Just the space that they just immediately deny. Just like, oh, I'm going to go break that block so I can play the game. And then she hits the block and you get shot in the face. And this happens
Sometimes I wonder
so
if
much
I'm
more
just
than you
bad
would
on
think it
that.
would. There will be a lot of times where like you literally break the block and the turret spawns anyway and just shoots you. And she can really do this to kind of pester you when you're trying to box her up front. And that can be really annoying. Turrets are also quite effective at camping as well because she can camp you with turrets. She can camp you with turrets and go mana positive camping you with turrets. Or at least mana even. It's either mana even or mana positive turret camping you. Obviously, it's not like turret camping isn't like there's counters to it, obviously. But the fact that she has that as an option is just at any time is a very strong thing. So she just has a really, really, really good W1. It just does a lot. And then W2 is not anywhere near as insane, I think. W2 is just, it's a solid combo tool. But I don't really think that it's doing anything too crazy. I've seen Hazel's do some funny shenanigans with W2, but normally a lot of the gameplay revolves around W1. So
Weapon 2 is usually. Oh, go ahead.
So, as for where I think she is, um, I think that I probably put her like, I think she's better than Dread. She's not better than Harissa. No shot. Not happening.
Mm.
But I don't know if I put her like top of like near top of B or whether I put her like low A because I think that she has the tools to fight a lot of the characters in the game. But I do think that there's definitely some matchups where she tends to struggle. Where like obviously if there's characters like Queen that clear her projectiles or like box her really easily because Queen will just wipe all the blocks out of the front immediately. And then
Weapon
also
two.
I think that she probably does not do too great into some of the piercing characters as well. Because like Queen, she has that weakness where it's just like, okay, well, if you have a piercing weapon, then not only are you going to break the block, but you're also going to hit her as well. Um, and that is definitely a very relevant weakness. So she's definitely not without flaws due to that. And unlike Queen, she doesn't have an off-angle boxing tool in order to kind of help counteract that weakness. So I think that she's just like, I think she's good. Um, but I don't think that she's like as strong as Harissa due to the fact I think she definitely has more bad matchups or matchups that she doesn't do too well into. So I probably put her like higher in B or I put her like low A.
Numbers, did you want to go next or want me to?
Yeah, I think I'll go next. I have
Go
some
for it.
things in my mind right away. So weapon two, there's two applications I can think of that where it does matter. One of it is projectile pop because weapon two into a whole lot of things just works. And then the other one is jail combo because that's totally acceptable in the game, I guess. That doesn't pick people when to jump. I mean, like, it's not even like that good if you know. I mean, like, it's not even like foolproof. You can definitely kill the jailer, but it's like this. This back and forth is like a pain in the arse to get right.
I definitely
Um,
don't like jail, yeah.
it's. I feel like it's the kind of thing where it's like if this happens in the game, it's the kind of thing that is like a concern to the point where it's like the game can't be designed. Having that in the game feels like something that should be patched out if there was like any other game kind of thing. But that's another
Yeah.
topic. There is one thing that comes to mind regarding Hazel's French. It's that usually when a spell has when a weapon has and some attack has different functions and one outcome where she can do one or the other, it's usually toned down a little bit. It's usually toned down a little bit. So then it's like she so like compared to single functionality weapons, she has more options, but at the price of both options not being just as good. But then in the context of wrench, it feels like they're both they both have this output level of that a weapon of a single function has. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
As
And
in
there's
like,
like something like
yeah.
there's something like that's like keeps like people say like Hazel is like fundamental a very not overpowered, but it's broken in the power balancing. And it's also why like Hazel is generally seen like as a generally like strong character ever since release. And why there were a lot of people playing Hazel during early re- early release, and there's still people that I'm not sure if there's still people that do. It's hard to tell from the regulars, but she's still good or reliable, I would think. One thing that I feel like is something I can't overlook. Why I can't even see can't see Hazel ever being at A tier. And the reason why is reach. I think reach is by far like the worst possible weakness you can have in this game. And in a way, because of reach, I feel like I never really fear going against Hazel.
Like her range.
Yeah, the range is bad at the range is generally bad, and unless you're playing like a super generalist deck, which has its cons because then you only need to look at the spells. It's just too much. It's just too much of a weakness to the point where I you can just out. Not I don't know, but it's like it's not the kind of thing. It's a certain point. It's like this. Hazel isn't scary enough to be like, oh, I can definitely lose a set to her, because I feel like in my mind it's like if I play properly, I don't.
That's fair. Um,
I also haven't seen dragons playing passive as Hazel in a really long time, which is a problem because that's a matchup I never figured out.
yeah, he just doesn't play her anymore.
Oh yeah, he plays terrible now, doesn't he? And like only terrible.
I thought he played Celicy, but yeah.
Oh. Oh, hopping around a bit. That's cool. Alright,
What
your
do
turn.
you? Yeah,
Huh?
okay. So Hazel, I think Hazel kind of sucks. If I'm being honest, I have a very different opinion of Hazel than most people. I think generally, if a deck hard loses, can't do anything about Hazel, it's probably not a great deck generally. Um, there are definitely some exceptions, like Lockdown Dread, um, like certain shopkeeper decks. But aside from that, I think generally, like, you're gonna be able to deal with her. I think her biggest issue is lack of initiative. She doesn't have a
Mm,
ton to force you to safely like to engage without her risking like losing a bunch of mana. So if she's trying to force you to engage, either she's got to spend half her mana setting up turrets or blocks, or she just kind of tries to poke you out with weapon two. And neither of those are overly effective. So if you just camp her back, it's really rough for her.
mm,
Because her primary decks do not have, as you said, the reach to really threaten you. I think her initiative is really bad. That even if she is good damage, like she is comparable damage to Chiretta, but I don't think she is as good of a neutral overall. I think her neutrals a little, or her matchups a little more like skewed. Like she does have better winning matchups than Chiretta, but I think generally she just, I don't know. Like I think she struggles with a lot of things. I think the fact that she needs the front. I think the fact that like I don't know, her reach is just really bad. Her range is awful. You know what she wants. She doesn't have much mix to her. And I think that just hurts her. I definitely don't think she's that great of a character. Personally, I think she's a worse character on this list that we've done so far. I mean, I definitely think she's like low C. So I think that averages out. Well, actually, do you guys want to discuss that first? We can talk about like the character before we actually go and place her. What do you guys think of what I was basically saying? Because I think it holds her back a lot. I don't think she has the
yeah,
initiative to get anything done.
I think similarly.
What do you think, Windfall?
I, I don't think she's that bad. um,
What do you think like makes up for the fact that she just can't initiate properly? Or do you
well,
not agree that
she's
that's
an
a thing
incredibly
about
strong
her? Really?
character defensively as well because she has a very strong defensive tool, which is the blocks and the turrets. And I definitely do agree that, and initiative wise, she can tend to. She's not the best at it, obviously, because I don't really think her W2 is that great at starting combos or like trying to initiate that way. But what she does hit you, right, is like she hits really hard, and then she also has the ability to camp out a lot of things quite effectively, unless it's piercing.
Mm,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't think she's terrible. But I put her in like I said what high B. So that
Yeah.
probably average out to like that either be
Definitely
low B or
B.
high
I'd
C.
say B. I'd say
I
B.
think it
I
averages to
don't. I
B.
think she's definitely doing better than Shirada. She at least has like built-in. She at least has built-in tile denial that the opponent must respond to get rid of.
That's fair. I just value offense and initiative a lot more than I value
That's
defensive
fair.
So we
capabilities.
are we tossing her at the bottom of B,
Um,
or is that where that averaged out to,
I'm
or is it
fine with
averaging out to
I,
top
I
of
it.
think
C?
Definitely
bottom
averages
B
out to
makes
B,
sense.
but I don't know where in B.
Well, I was
We'll
gonna
figure
say it's
out.
either
Pretty
averaging
much,
out to bottom of B or it's averaging out to here. So like
I did just say B.
bottom. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right.
All
That's
right, now
definitely
now
where
we
I'd
now
put
we
her.
can now that she's there, we can now properly fill out the rest of the tier list by putting Maple at the bottom.
I think Maple's solid.
I mean, like,
I don't think Maple's that
no,
bad.
she's not that bad.
Windfall, you can go first on Maple.
All right. So, I also agree. I don't really think Maple's that bad currently. I think that she definitely has some very notable strengths. Obviously, Maple's very good at boxing. W1 is crazy at boxing, and it got faster, I believe. Um, and the balance and the buffs that was happening in the PBE. Maple that was PBE, right? Where she W1 got buffed. I think, or was that before
I
that?
didn't know it got buffed.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I think W1 did get buffed, right? I'm pretty sure the frame data
Yeah,
got
it
buffed.
did.
It got faster.
Weapon one
I
got
think it was
buffed.
recovery.
You can now do weapon one to step slash if the range
So,
range
yeah,
match.
obviously having a very strong boxing tool is a nice thing to have in this game. And then also it's fairly good at comboing as well. Speaking of combos, this character has pretty stupid combos, although they don't necessarily fully revolve around W1. The stupid combos really start with W2, and I think that that's both a good thing and a bad thing, because the bad thing is that you have to play around W2, which can be pretty annoying to play around, especially if you're trying to hit W2 raw, because Mabel doesn't really have any built-in way to kind of get you out of the back, and landing raw seed is not really the best way to go about that, because it hits one tile, obviously.
And it's not like it's active for 5 years.
However, the thing is that Maple has probably the most stupid advantage state out of any character in this game. It is dumb. Because the second you get comboed and then you get the seed placed on you, seed doesn't go away when you hit Maple. It doesn't go away. It just stays there. It stays there forever. Like I could literally could go to school 4 years, graduate, and get my degree before that seed is freaking gone. Like, it actually lasts a stupid amount of time. There's like a lot of times where I'm just like, oh, there's no way seed is still on me, right? And then I get
5
wrapped.
seconds.
And when you get wrapped, they can just do whatever the heck they want to you after that. Like, they can taunt a few times, they can go to the store, buy some groceries, come back, and they'll still have enough time to rag you. Like, it lasts so freaking long. Oh my god. And then the worst part is that after the wrap combo's over, they reapply seed, and if you get hit after that, you get wrapped again. And yeah, it's just
You're back.
The only
in.
reason
there's a
why
lot of
she
times
wouldn't
where,
be able
like,
to do that is because of mana budget.
yeah, there's just a
Yeah.
lot of times where getting seed comboed once just snowballs into you losing the game. And yeah, but that's the thing, is that they have to land the seed combo, and landing seed is not easy. It is not easy
There's a lot
at
of
all
lines,
unless you
for
are
sure,
like
though.
comboing into it. But once again, it's just like, okay, W1, you have to hit the W1, but your opponent can just camp the W1, right? And then all you have is seed and then the spells in your hand in order to actually hit your opponent, which is not that great.
I remember
For trying to land hits in neutral, where all you have, your only weapon option is to hit a singular tile, and it's not even instantly, right? So there's the good and the bad. The good is really good, but I think that the bad is pretty darn bad. And then also there's also the case of, if you simply run significant denial for the front, then that shuts down W1, and then that also shuts down W2 as well, because it's a 4-way, which means that any counters to 4-way also work against seed. So
Maple loses to Wrecking Ball.
yeah.
Kinda.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think really good ups, really bad downs. This character is weird because it's just like I could be on terrible and lose just because I got hit by seed, but they might also just get bodied because they never got to get going, or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's quite literally the character. So I would probably put Maple in like B, just because I really don't think this character is bad, but I also don't think that this character is good, because I think the drawbacks are really bad, but the upsides are really good, and I think it's just smack in the middle. I think it balances out.
Numbers, do you want to go or want me to?
I'll go. I have some things in mind. Um, Maple. I feel like, well, I'm thinking about like the ways to get into seed. There are a few that come to mind. You could definitely do auto slash weapon one, weapon two, which gets the seed on. There's also weapon one and then move once into weapon two if you can set up the range. And
I
there's a
think you
lot
need
of ways
strip
to
mine for
launch.
that.
No, you don't need. Well, I mean, like it's not a proper combo if you do it like that. But now you're stuck with 5 seconds, 4-ish seconds of seed and neutral, which I think is favorable. That should be favorable enough, right? It's not so. That's not so terrible. And then what's it? Uh, uh although like there's a lot of things I'm trying to do with like rake and apprehend, which I feel like could be like a basis of like a lot of fundamentals you could be doing, since you can basically make almost we could basically always have it so then they're 3 away at high health thresholds and then always 4 away at low health thresholds if you know how to like move do the comp if you know how to path it. And um problems, but then it's like if you run so many of these kinds of spells, it's like her neutral is ass, it's so ass. You just it really feels like she does nothing at all sometimes, even though it's obviously very good.
um.
This is
So
also wait, go on.
yeah, no, go for it. Um.
Okay. Also thinking like this is it in comparison to other characters, like what Maple is doing is a lot of effort for what characters can get for less effort. That's how I see it. Do you guys think
Yeah.
her damage is that worthwhile?
Yeah, I do. I think she hits hard.
I mean, like you get the scene, I guess. Hmm.
Um. So, are you, where do you think she goes,
Oh, that's hard to
or
say.
do you want to hear me out first?
Yeah, let's see what you have to say first. This one I'm actually
Okay.
not very sure at all.
So I've played. I've played a lot of Maple recently as well. I put a good deal of time into learning her. I played the mirror with Val and Index a good deal. I brought her to ESL as well against Coca. I think she's okay. I think the character's neutral is definitely lacking in certain areas. Like she's kind of like Harissa in that she boxes the front really well, but her combos are so much more conditional. Off of weapon one at least. Um, she does have that really good front control, but she does kind of need the front for a lot of her stuff. Tile denial really hurts against her because again, 4 away is her main poke tool, and she doesn't have really much hard baked way to deal with camping. Along with that, her weapon one is it's good at dealing with the front specifically. It's not as effective as at the 2 away. That that hitbox is mostly fake. It doesn't really come into play too often as much as you'd think. She does have good inevitability because she plays and synergizes super well with strip mine, which most maples tend to build for. And Mark currently plays out perfectly for seed. So for example, if you wrap with Mark, um like
Oh yeah, wrap with
if you
Mark. The
wrap with
Mark
like
damage gets
javelin or
control.
knife, the
Yeah,
the mark damage combos back into seed into whatever you want, which is really good.
yeah. You could do
So it
weapon
gives
two
her some
damage,
really
weapon
long
two.
loops. I think her damage is really good. She does have some good matchups. I think she does pretty well into Violet, for example. She does shockingly solid into Queen because 1 mana to just eliminate any piece, even a Rook, is pretty nice. Along with probably getting a little better front control than Queen has. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I think she does it well into Hazel too, which is I don't know if that's a hot take, but any character that really, really needs the front that can't box from 2 away, she just wins.
Maple does have an easier time against Hazel, I'd say.
Yeah, and she hits hard. She's got good weaknesses, or she's got good strengths but big weaknesses. I think on this list, with the way we're ranking it, I'd probably put her bottom of B or top of C.
I think C.
You think top of C?
Yeah.
I think that's around where it averages out to,
I
right,
feel like
Windfall?
she kind of ties with Chi.
All right, so we're going top of C.
Would you argue more towards bottom of B, or are you fine with top of C?
I'm fine. I don't really care either way. I think we could probably. I'd probably argue more for bottom of B. I think she has a bit more going for
Oh,
her, but
I think she's pretty in line with Hazel. I think that checks out. I don't
think Hazel is probably having a slightly better time.
I don't know. I think Maple just hits so hard. Like so does Hazel, but at least Maple has an actual she can try to poke. And I think Maple's front denial is even better than Hazel's.
What number said C, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that probably averages out to like to here. Then we can go here.
I think I'd argue more B than C.
So we'll go bottom of B then.
So we both think B. Just thinks more C. So I think we can go bottom of B.
Yes, that seems fair enough.
And we can definitely adjust it later once we get the order worked out.
For anyone listening to the for anyone who's listening to the podcast that's looking for something to cook, Maple Weapon 1 to Step Blaze works. Get cooking.
I don't want to have to cook that. That sounds.
It's nowhere near as egregious as she. It's nowhere near as potent as Shiso's. If you're worrying about that, it's because Shiso can at least like hit the whole row, and then go into Step Blaze stuff. This one you need them to be at the front. It's like haha, have fun with that. But I guess you could do if you push them to exactly far away with weapon 1, you can do Step Blaze Salamander, move Salamander, and then weapon 2 as soon as you return, and that triggers wrap. I just figured I'd mention that because the last shot of Salamander will hit after the seed touches him.
There is one other thing I want to mention about her, which is a little more meta, a little more abstract. But her boxing is definitely the easiest, most like simple boxing. It doesn't impact your mental stack to box with her. Almost like other characters, if you're trying to force stuff up front, it's taking up some of your mental stack. It doesn't really do that with Maple. You just press weapon 1. Like you just press the button and it does it for you.
I feel like it could potentially play in a way where Maple just stalls a lot because you have where you just use weapon 1 as disengage because it's fast, it pushes away off angle even. So it's like maybe if you could like run like much slower paced decks, that could work. I feel like she could afford to wait on like most characters because
I know Val is code S with her, and oh my is Val a camper. Not in a bad way, but Val be camping with her.
Defense is strong.
What are we good on Maple then?
I think so, yeah.
So Nira, Windfall.
So I used to think Nira was underrated, and they nerfed Frost. Now I no longer think that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So first, what's good about her? I think W2 is good.
That's about the only reason you play Nira.
But yeah, W2 is like stupid annoying to try and interact with because it's 3 whole structures, and it blocks projectiles really well. makes it really annoying to
It
kind
bites
of hit her if
back.
you're trying to hit her on angle, but you can obviously get around that by off angling her instead. Like I fight Nira when I fought Nira and I'm on terrible, I literally just throw comment and then I like whiplash them and then I laugh because if they shield they just die. But yeah, off angles are still very effective against that. So it's annoying if you're running at like a really off angle. I mean, a really on angle type deck. Like you're running a lot of projectiles that you're trying to use to start combos. You might be really annoyed by Nira because a lot of them are just gonna get blocked by her W2 camping. But that's kind of, I feel like, all she has is W2 camping. And then when you start looking at it, it's okay. Like, what about her offense? Well, she no longer has the pressure from her W1. Doesn't go through your shield anymore. So you no longer have to be afraid to block W1, which is a very big deal because this is a character that has Frost built in, and as a kid you want to build Frost on, and now Frost is significantly worse. So yeah, I think it makes the character significantly worse, and especially losing that unblockable aspect from her weapon also makes her just significantly worse. And it also does not help that I don't really think that her initiative before was already that great because obviously W2 is not going to be that great for starting combos. At least it's not going to be that reliable for that. Because when you throw W2 out, like you're not, people don't aim W2 to hit. Like you're throwing out W2 to make your opponent like want to close the game. Yeah,
Damn
like
them for
and
trying
just camp them
to
out,
play.
right? Like you're throwing out W2 to just avoid being hit, and then sometimes you can kind of use W2 to line up hits a little bit, but it's not that reliable. And then W1 is just not super
It's worse
great
gunner.
for fishing for
It's
hits.
worse charge beam.
So
That's not a bad way to look at it.
yeah,
I mean, you could have the only noteworthy things that you can do in regards to shieldable frost is like push slash move shield, then push slash move weapon one into backstab, or weapon one to push slash or backstab when the weapon one inflicts shieldable frost.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean W1 pierces like that's really where it ends. Like it just
Yeah.
I don't really think it's that great. Like the frame data isn't that amazing. I mean, because it's just like
Cooldown is it's got really big cooldown for some reason.
yeah, like you compare
Yeah, so
that
then
to like
you can't just apply a new frost the moment you can't just apply new frost the moment you get frost damage.
yeah, like the
If it
thing
was
is
like
like
cooldown
it's
38, you could do weapon one frost into weapon one and continuous combos, and that's like lame and also kind of takes away the challenge of trying to apply frost in the first place. But then frost is bad, so what does that matter?
but yeah, just like
Yeah.
it's a hit scan, right? But it's just like it's not a fast. It's not like Violette's W1 where like it's fast. Like no, it's a slow hit scan, and then it has the weird quirk where it doesn't hit in front of you as well, which makes her boxing weird because you can't actually box standing in the front because if your opponent is in the front, it just doesn't work. So it's just her W1 is like quirky and not really that great for offense, and then it doesn't even go through your shield anymore. And then W2 is literally only good for camping. So it's just like, what does this character actually do? There's
Okay,
not a whole lot.
That one, there's something I can think of. One is like how
you can farm
is basically
spears.
using the ice spikes. If you're doing spears, you're already screwing yourself over.
Yeah,
There's no point
yeah,
talking
you're already
about it.
like
Yeah,
But
no, you're
what
right.
I'm thinking of that's actually interesting is using Nira's ice spikes in the same way you use dark matter. So you could do like weapon two push in to immediately push slash to hit them with to proc frost at the back column. You could do weapon to move forward or backward into push slash to make the cross exactly 3 tiles away because it will collide into the second one.
yeah, but like, what
And
if
then
I
you
just
could do
block?
wind burst. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, no, that's
what if I just block?
This would have
That's
been
the problem.
this would have been so cool if Frost wasn't shieldable. Nobody fucking when the people suggested to remove shieldable Frost, they never fucking thought of what you could do with. Nobody
Yeah,
ever
it's
talked.
Character's not.
This character's not good. This character's not good. I don't think she has anything real
A
going.
lot of
She just camps. That's all she has. Is that she's good at
well,
camping.
the alternative is also that you just play like, well, you basically just play generic spells. It's like, well, you could just do that on anyone.
It's like, why don't you just go play a
And
good
then, like-
camping character like Gunner? Like, why play a bad camp?
One thing about Nero and Gunner, Nero would be a good matchup against Gunner, like one of Gunner's worst possible matchups, if not for the fact that Gunner is running every far away off angle in existence.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
No,
Is that
Gunner's
you-
just-
Snapshot, Paragon, Snowfall, like that basically like it's like what potential saving grace matchup saving grace Nero has against someone is gone like that.
yeah, like that's the thing.
There's
Like,
also no, gone.
W2 was just like even W2 just like it's good at camping, but it's just like it doesn't stop off angle. Like, and then every like really good character in this game is running off angle. It's going to hit you past your camping, whether it's step slash, auto, whether it's freaking snowfall, whether it's Paragon, right? So it's just like your camping only even really shuts down like meat stuff that
Not
already
much.
is like not even all that amazing. I feel at least hard shuts that down, right? Because like any deck that's getting fully shut down by Nearest W2 and has like nothing they can do against it is like, okay, yeah, you
Probably.
got some work to do. I feel like the stronger strategies in this game like already just have the tools to deal with that in the first place. So it's just like, and then once again, it's just like, okay, yeah, Nair can camp you, but like she still has to kill you in order to win. And I don't think she's good at doing that in any capacity.
Anything playable.
But
Numbers, did you want to go next on
wait,
here?
oh, let me get a placement, and then I probably put her
you're
like
good. You're good.
I put her right now like I put her at like the bottom. Like I think she's like either D or like bottom of C.
Man, that's harsh. I was gonna put her as C, at least C, because like at the very least it's like because of Weapon 2 also being essentially having 4 startup. Of the first spike having 4 startup means that if you can have them in a situation where they want to be 2 away from you to continue combo, you could just press Weapon 2 in response to getting hit, and then they just eat the ice spike. And it's like, wow, it was like nice offense. Let me have my turn instead.
Yeah, I guess. Numbers, did you want to go next on her overall? Like go through her your overall thoughts on her?
I mean, like what I've said about her is you guys already know. There's also like the rage build that doesn't work anymore because you can't. It doesn't work if you can shield Frost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything anymore.
Okay, so Nira, like I've been trying to mess around with her, and the main idea I had was slow ball stuff. Using obviously she generates spears better than most characters. But I was thinking like, oh, well, I'll use weapon 1 to confirm into auto with the frost. And then I fought someone and they shielded it. And there goes the entire only thing she can do offensively. If Frost was not shieldable, then she'd have a genuine niche. She'd be able to like play offense and fish and poke and stuff, but it's just non-existent with
She
shieldable
would be able
Frost.
to use her weapon to like dark matter.
And weapon 2 is the lamest, stupid, campy loser strategy known to man. I hate it. But it doesn't do anything. It just slows down the game.
I mean, like
I think I agree.
It does something. It punishes your opponent for trying to fight at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's probably the worst character we've done so far. Like,
there's a worse competitor in mind, but fair enough. Hold on. Let me get the deck. I know there's a deck that circulates in GP. I feel like every once in a few days, and it's like every once in a few days just for like the fun of it.
yeah, I think
But it's
she's.
like,
I think
so
she.
basic.
I think she could have been good, but given the state that Frost ended up in, I think she's severely lacking. So I think I agree. I think she's pretty bad right now.
Oh, one last thing.
I might even say D.
Mm. One last thing I should mention about Nier is that one thing that even if you like statistically buff her weapons right now, her weapons feel very stubborn, for the lack of a better word. Basically, she hard loses to far away off angle, which is especially Celicy, for example. Um, definitely that also accounts. That's also for against shopkeeper and saffron. Basically, it's like, how do you put it? It's strange, but it's like if you try, it's really hard to say. But it's like she plays in a way where it's very hard to respond to step slash stuff, invade stuff.
Yeah, you have to preempt it with
I
stuff.
mean, like if they just do it at the same time, you lose the exchange. But then it's like that's how you establish your plays. I don't know if this makes sense. I know it's something that always comes up whenever I play Nira. I don't know how to explain that perfectly.
Yeah, she doesn't have much that deals with steps because her weapon one doesn't hit in front of her, which is where you need to hit if you want to beat dodge on approach. So it's just like, okay, that kind of sucks.
Hmm. Oh, I'm starting to get memories now. There was the one thing she can do that is kind of interesting is weapon two into bomb, where you guarantee the bomb because they can't block the weapon two. They can't
Yeah, that's a neat
yeah,
concept. I agree. That's pretty cool. I just don't think it ends up playing out too great nowadays.
yeah. And the last thing that comes to mind is weapon two, move forward dimension sword because it hits 5 away. Now you can gamble your way into frost confirms.
True, true.
It's
um,
pretty funny when it happens.
so she's okay.
She's
I
D.
think she's pretty bad though. Are we all agreeing
I
on
can't see
D?
her. I don't think I can see her at CE. And I don't think I can see her at C at this point. But maybe
So we're
that's
all in
like
agreement.
because she's been nerfed too hard. I,
I think her I think the stuff surrounding her just keeps getting nerfed, and that's the big issue.
hmm, yeah.
I think we're all in agreement with D then.
D.
Yeah,
Perilla.
I'm just oh Perla.
Oh
Perry.
boy. Go
Have
for
you
it.
guys played her much after her
Yep,
stuff got gutted?
sure have.
Hmm.
All right. I guess I will start. So, Perilla. So, she's got a nice invade weapon. It returns faster than Celicy's, obviously with the trade-off that it doesn't go as far. Um, so it's not as good as an offensive tool, I think, as Celicy's because of that. But I think that the being able to return faster has its own upsides as well. Obviously, you got the web as well. Web, still a method of front denial, nowhere near as strong as it was. I will get into that. But it still roots the opponent. And if they do try to, you could still use it to kind of help shut down the front, place traps, and keep your opponent from moving around up there. But once again, I will get into the
Old
drawback
Perilla.
now. And then W2 is still a hit scan, and it's still pretty good, I think. You could still catch people with that. Like, I believe the last time I fought Perilla, just like, I was surprised that, just like, yeah. You could still get caught by W2, and it still will combo you. Like, from you're sitting in back column, just like, oop, you got caught by W2, get double teamed, right? That still happens. So I think she still has, like, solid offense. And then there's also the fact that she can just invade walk and then do a spell, right? And then she still has apprehend, and I think she still has all of her her combos,
Most
I
of her
believe.
offensive stuff, yeah.
Yeah, most of her combos
No,
she still
I
has. They
will
just
say,
don't hurt as bad because now double team K wave isn't broken.
I
So
will say, she does lose some routes because there were some routes she only had due to weapon one and walking onto the web during her combos, and she doesn't regenerate as much mana now,
yeah, and her
and
mana
it
regen was
does
nerfed.
impact her
Yep, that
drastically.
happened too. So
So
yeah,
it
and
does
now she
impact her
doesn't regenerate as much
combo.
mana, so she can't just invade W1 and just invade, pick up web, and just regenerate stupid amounts of mana while also comboing you. And yeah, that crap was dumb, but that's not as dumb anymore. But she still does regenerate some. And then for the bad, webs don't have hit stun. That is a very big deal.
Massive, in
in
fact.
terms of
That's
its
like the
potency as a
one. I feel like
trap.
that's the one thing that makes her actually broken. Everything else was tolerable to an extent.
But yeah, web's not having hit stun and the fact that you can just straight up disrespect web. Because like now if you walk into web, Perilla can't actually walk in front of you.
No,
And
it's like
Nope.
you just mash.
yeah, because you literally just mash. And the thing is like before you could already like it just rooted you, so mashing was already an option. But at least you had time to do something. But like now there's just like you don't take hits done. So although she can kind of use web to like annoy you while you're up front, it doesn't really do that much to to like make you like back off. Like there's a lot of times just like, oh, there's a web there and the web is going to be in the way from me comboing Perla and me not comboing Perla. I'm just gonna walk into the web now. Whereas before I walk into the web and I can take hit stun. Now I lose my opportunity. Whereas now it's just like, okay, the web is not really going to stop me from doing anything. Like if I see an opportunity, the web is not going to stop me from taking the opportunity now, which is I think that's a really big deal. So it's like
because it did used to do that.
yeah, it did used to do that. So web does not have anywhere near the level of presence and impact that I had before. It is way, way, way weaker. And without her kind of being able to just bully you, just make you unable to play the game if you decide to play a deck that requires the use of the front column, I think that makes her significantly worse than she used to be. And then also there's the thing with W2. I think W2 like shielding it is like very legit now if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, you could
It
do
is.
weapon two into. You could shield weapon two into your push slash for combo.
Yeah.
If she does not see that coming, well, sucks to be her.
So then there's also just like if Perilla is fishing for W2 a lot, then there's also just like okay, you can shield it and then punish her. And that's also a big deal. So her weapons definitely nowhere near as terrifying as they used to be, but I still think that she's still a solid character. At the end of the day, if you do get caught by W2, you are getting comboed. And at the end of the day, Web can, to some extent, still help shut down the front. And if Perla is playing like a root deck, like she's playing Strangle, then even if Web doesn't do hit stun, you still have to be worried about it. Because if you walk into that, well, Strangle is off angle, and Vine Pool is also off angle to some extent, although you won't get hit by the second part. So I think that she's just solid. I think that she's fair now. She's a lot more fair now, and that she also still has
I
all the
don't think
invade
she's
synergy
bad.
that she had
She's
before.
fine.
So all the
Yeah.
initiative that she gets from invade, like doing W1 apprehend, to start her combos, she still has that. Her damage roots definitely don't hit nearly as hard, but they still do a decent amount of damage. So just a much more toned down version of this character, I think. Um, so I'd say solid. Like I'd probably throw her in B. All right, and moving on.
Numbers, you can go next. I want to I want to go last on her.
So the fact that you can just do shield weapon two into get your combo is definitely really bad for starters. What else? Oh yeah, that was the thing on top of the hitstun web. I feel like it's more or less what you said, but also I remember trying harvest combo, see if that has like any saving grace for her. But harvest just bricks way too often. Not in terms of deck order, but in terms of mana. I don't know if you guys tried Harvest on her before, but it's like it's
Not
not
much, no.
great. It's really not great. I wish it worked, but it's like you just try it in training mode once it becomes like really obvious.
What how good do you think she is overall?
Mm, I think she underperforms at this point. I mean, like she does have her stuff. Like she guess she has. She's probably fine, but I feel like she's missing. She doesn't. She's not. It's like her output can be at B. Is it around the same where I would put B tier? But then like she's missing in very specific, particular aspects where I feel like she can't be there. She can't like reliably be at that level, because like if you like sure, I know people like complained about like her reaching the back was like a problem. Her reaching the back was a problem and stuff. Is like it's honestly a fair interaction to invade one tile invade, move forward into off angle melee, and also not only is it fair interaction, it's also very telegraphed when that happens. I just feel like a lot of her stuff is very front of the line, just like Chi. It's like if she loses the front, what's she doing?
Um,
Mm,
got it.
no,
So,
it's on my head.
Barilla. Um, I might be the most opinionated person about this character, as the person who was probably campaigning the most for her nerfs. I think this obviously when this character was broken, she was killing the game, just like obscenely broken. But
Mm,
she's been toned back significantly since then. But I think her kit's all still for the most part there. I think Web not having hit stun like it used to is just such a big nerf. I think being able to shield and not get block stringed, specifically in a double team, is huge. And I think not being able to regenerate mana from webs is huge. All that stuff she used to have that made her just have an unbreakable wall up front while having broken pokes is all gone. Now she has a decent wall up front and pretty solid pokes with invade synergy. And she has neat root synergy as well. I think she's pretty solid still, actually. I think she's pretty strong. I think there are a lot of matchups she does well into. She still gets to eat structures and go at least mana positive on them relative to the opponent. Because she eats structures for half mana now instead of a
yeah,
whole mana. She she still is pretty solid up front. She still has good damage. Like I fought Kishi recently, and we went like 9-10 on one of the decks he was running. And I don't know. I think the character still hits hard. The character still has all the invade stuff. She's just fair now. I honestly think I think she has a good matchup spread, and I don't think she has many huge weaknesses other than like I guess you can camper now with tiled and island structures. You can try to camper a lot more effectively now. But like in terms of just playing the game, she's still really solid. I have her just under Harissa based on this, honestly. I think she's A tier. Um
hmm.
I think she's
That's
really good still. Like I've used her. I was using her in ESL some. I've been using her a decent bit because like I still play the character some. And I know Kishi. I don't know how good Kishi thinks she is. I want to see.
I know JP in general finds her to be underperforming to an extent. Like she can
Yuki
play,
thinks
but
she's
not like
relatively mid tier.
mm,
Let me check Kishi's opinion real quick because I value Kishi's opinion a lot about this character.
mm.
Because he's the one that invented her old play style. Kishi has her in A tier. Um, I think I agree with that generally. I'm not sure.
I mean A tier.
So that's where I have her. Personally, you have her more in the B to C range, and I think Windfall said B range, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that averages out. So I think she's bottom of A. Um,
I feel like
bottom
I
of B,
don't
top
have
of C.
I wouldn't consider my experience credible enough to really
See what I
evaluate where
mean?
she is.
So I think she's bottom of A. Windfall, where did you have her then?
I had her in B, but I probably would have had her
Where
towards the top of B.
I guess top of B in that case.
I'm fine with top
If you
of
want to
B.
maybe if you want to like even out the.
We can see later where we want to put it, but
I feel like she would
like
tie with Jedworm in my mind.
I cannot put it like personally. I don't see her in the same tier as Hazel and Maple by any means.
I guess.
So,
Like I think that's
I guess that's fair.
I don't personally, but we're doing averages. We're doing the group.
Is this where we're going?
Do you guys?
I don't.
For
I
now,
don't
we
know
can
my.
drop
I
her
don't
in
know
top
my
of B.
experience credible enough to be.
Set her in top
I
of B
wouldn't.
real
I wouldn't
quick.
consider myself. Yeah, I wouldn't consider
Do you-
myself
Like
good.
Windfall, do you think she's in the same tier as Maple? Like genuine question.
Honestly,
Like
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Maple's terrible.
I don't
think,
either.
I think Perry's definitely quite solid. I think that I mean I also
I think
think
B tier
Maple's solid.
feels
but, like,
cluttered. But how do we fix that?
well, we could add
Do you
more
think
tiers later if we
maybe-
feel that it's necessary. But
Yeah, okay, we can split it up later. I think order wise, I agree with this. I agree with Gorilla being better than all those characters in B tier, worse than Harissa. I'm fine with that. But
yeah, fair enough, I guess.
I personally lean more towards A tier than B tier. But
I just can't see.
we're
the
doing.
same tier as these.
What do you if you think B tier, I'm fine keeping her in B though.
Yeah, let's just keep her there for now. Think about it later. At
Yes,
the very
cool.
most.
Queen, a character both Windfall and I have played a lot, but Windfall invented this character. What are you thinking?
Queen, all right. So Queen. So we'll start with the good. So really good boxing. Execute covers the entire row. It's also very fast, and it has off-angle confirms. In fact, the off-angle confirms got better.
They did get buffed. They got shadow buffed, kinda.
Yeah, the execute got shadow buffed. So her off-angle confirms are better now. So execute is actually more threatening to get hit by than it used to be. Obviously, she has solid control with her structure because the pieces allow her to pressure some space off angle, and then she can also use the piece to camp. It is a perma structure, which means she can use it to block a whole bunch of stuff, block projectiles to make the opponent waste their stuff, and she can also use it to disarm traps and all the benefits of that. And overall, just use the piece to help control space, like Bishop and Rook, and use them to kind of snipe people into auto slash, and then usually follow up with something threatening like Crystal Rifle or something like that. So solid overall. The bad, this character's damage is abysmal. Her damage is so bad. Like yeah, no, she just doesn't do damage. Queen just does not do any freaking damage. Because she doesn't really her weapons don't really assist in adding damage to any combos. So all the damage has to come from the spells themselves without the assistance of her weapons, really. All the weapons can really do is just help her land the starter for that combo. But she can't really use them to extend. Unless you can kind of do some extensions with Execute, but Execute does 1 damage. So it does not really adding damage to your combos, really. So because of that, her damage output just tends to be kind of pathetically low. And then the second issue with her is piercing got like mega buffed. A lot of it, like Raver got her piercing back. A lot of the piercing spells have received buffs over like the past year. Like significant buffs. And we're seeing like piercing spells regularly used in the meta now, which is terrible for Queen. And it's also made it much harder to maintain peace because now there's a lot of stuff that will just hit you and then also break the chest piece, and then you'll get comboed, right? So the drawbacks are pretty bad. I still don't think that she's like terrible. I still think Frost Queen is a very solid strategy. And honestly, I would still
Even after all the nerfs?
yeah, even
To
after all the
Frost?
nerfs, I still think Frost Queen is solid. And although if I were to play Frost Queen again, I'd probably change the deck to add Frost Slash. I don't know if Kayan's mess with that or not, but that's what I would do. Um, but I still think Frost Queen is still a solid strategy and can still perform solidly. But it's not. It's nowhere near a meta threat in my opinion. And then I don't really think this character has any other strategies that are anywhere near close to even like being worth using in a competitive setting at all. Um,
Yeah.
everything else that she had is kind of just gutted because like Gunner X just doesn't do any damage. It's not even worth playing, in my opinion, at this point because the damage is just so bad that it's just like you can't keep up with anything. And then
You've also well moved past the point where you can win with only spells.
yeah. So, but like I said, I still don't think that she's like I probably I'd say I'd probably think she's better than Chi. Actually no, I might even like this might sound crazy, but like I honestly might still put her in like B tier, like probably like
B?
bottom of B tier.
After all that, it's still B. That's surprising.
Because it's despite how bad the meta is for her right now, and the fact that her damage is absolutely abysmal, like absolute doo doo garbage trash. I still think the combination of she has really good boxing to threaten auto slash crystal rifle at least. Like I think Frost is literally she's on her last legs with Frost. Unless I come up with something else, I think she's
Frost
literally
still
on her
feels
last
kind
legs
of
for
playable,
Frost, but
it
Frost
just
Queen is still
sucks,
solid. But that's all it is solid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the
not-
Snowfall Queen feels like it's still making do because Crystal Rifle is the way it is. Even then, it's still not as great. I remember trying to play it a little bit. It's like you can do decently, but it's like it's nothing I would ever take to a competition.
But I'd either throw her
wouldn't
top
want
of
to
C
take it to
or
competition.
bottom of B, definitely. I would not put her in D tier next to Nira. I think she at least. I have reason. I think I would pick Queen over Nira any day of the week, but.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Numbers, did you want to go next
Yeah,
or
go
on me
ahead.
too?
I don't have much to say.
Okay, then I'll go next. Unless no, you can give like your opinion of where you generally have her.
In my mind, I think, see, man, I remember the days when it was like Queen and Dreadworm were like the two characters I like needed to figure out how to handle.
I wonder what kind of player could make Queen and Dreadworm seem like the best two.
Yeah, but it's like now after time has passed, it's like I'm not even scared of them anymore. They don't even scare me anymore. It's like it's not like anything changed about the way they attack me. What happened? It's
The meta.
I guess.
So Queen, I think she's not great. Having a structure is good. Only having one at a time isn't, and it doesn't do a ton. It just kind of sits there. You can try to pressure with it. It's 2 mana for 4 or 2 mana for 3, depending. Or how much damage does that set piece do if it's already down? Is it 3, the projectile?
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah, it's 3, right? Okay.
3
yeah,
for the
so
chest piece hits, right?
Yeah, so it's either 2 mana for 2. I mean, it's 2 mana for 3 or 2 mana for 4, which isn't great. Her damage is dog water. And again, like her camping's not that great into a lot of the meta. Like the most prominent characters right now are probably Celici, Terrible, and Gunner in terms of like popularity. What is she doing against Terrible? What is she doing against Celici nowadays? Like, I don't know. I just don't think I think she matches up horrifically poorly into the meta. I think she lacks any initiative and any damage output. and her camping's only mediocre. I think she's definitely like, at least she can box. She does have point blank combos. Windfall thinks Frost Queen's still good. I haven't gotten to fight it yet. I don't like playing it anymore. Personally, I have her below Toretto on this list, probably bottom of C personally. Windfall, where did you say you have her?
I said bottom of B or C tier.
You want to go top of C?
Top of
Average
C
it
can work,
out? Yeah.
Though we're up there.
I don't know. I don't think she like gets to do anything.
Not in this man. No.
I think the difference comes. I don't believe in Frost Queen, and you do.
Well, okay. I said
I
it.
feel
I think Frost Queen is solid. There's between
the
good and
neutral's
solid.
the neutral's still pretty.
I think
the
it's
neutral's still
usable.
pretty clean. The neutral's
I don't
clean
know.
at least.
Usable might be accurate.
But
the
I
thing
would
is,
I would
don't
not
know.
take it. I would not take that to ESL.
No, that's
Yeah.
my thing. I think the character is a usable deck. And that's
Also,
it.
imagine going through all this calculating with chess pieces when your opponent can not even do that and do way more than you.
Yeah, she just I'm fine with that placement though.
Yep.
Riva.
All right, now we have that. Now we actually put her at the. Now we actually have the number one worst.
All right, Reva. So, for good stuff, W2, really annoying to deal with.
Stupid.
It's invincible. It's got invulnerability. It's stupid annoying to box because it hits 2 tiles in front now, which means that now instead of having to worry about it, and you're just like, okay, I'll just not sit in the front. Now you can't sit in the front 2 columns and be in front of Reva and do anything because she'll just W2 at you. And that's really, really annoying. And I think that is quite solid. Now, like, I think that W2, her W2 is genuinely, like, really annoying to deal with now because of the fact that it hits the front 2 columns and the fact that you now have to be worried about being hit by it while you're in the front 2 columns. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think that being hit by W2 is still the end of the world by any means. Which I'm going to get into the bad now. It's like, I don't really think her damage is good.
What is she even doing off of shield bash or ricochet?
She doesn't really
what's
hit
her
hard.
extension? what
She
are
can do
her
like anything
extenders?
off it. Usually just
You can do
projectiles
jack
or auto.
shit.
She can do auto.
So
No, she can't. If it's a gap, well, it's gap 1-3. It's gap 1 if it hits the far point, where it pushes the 3 away because it's plus 14. It's gap 0 into gap 0 to do weapon 2 into crystal rifle.
But yeah, so her W1, her W2, it can be used as a decent starter to some capacity. But like Queen, her weapons are not really that great at extending her combos, which means that her damage is bad because she can't use her weapons to really add damage to her combos usually, unless actually no, that doesn't even work anymore because you can't even do the shenanigans that was happening with the previous version of her W2, I think.
Nope, you're right.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. So damage is terrible.
The multi-hit stuff.
And then the other issue is that if you just decide to camp out her W2, then her W1 loses a lot of its pressure if you just click the shield button and just shield W1, then she can't really get anything off of it. And then W1 is like, okay, yeah, it can look scary until you get used to shielding it and avoiding the follow-ups that way. And then her W1's not really doing that much to you if you just decide to camp her out. So I think that as annoying as her W2 is, her initiative I think is pretty lackluster, just simply due to the fact that camping is highly effective if you just decide to shield, like once in a blue moon, to avoid being hit by W1, instead of trying to like concede to her game plan. Just like, oh, I'm scared of W1, so I'm gonna walk up. Like, no, just shield, that's it. Just shield.
You can also, I feel like if you as we get better, it should be really easy to off angle punish the weapon too.
It definitely isn't. It has no lag.
W2 punishing
you can't
W2
punish
is
that.
I mean,
it's
like it's
stupid.
like a 10 frame window. I'm pretty sure.
W2 is just annoying to interact with in general. Like she has a really annoying W2 to interact with because just like the punish window is not big at all. It is. I've tried. It is pretty unreasonable to actually try and punish that move. She kind of just gets to whiff it and then not get punished. But
With it and
once
then run
again, it's
away.
just like it's not like W2 is forcing you to lose, in my opinion, to any capacity. It's kind of like Nier's W2, where it's just like it's just kind of impossible to reliably interact with. But it's just like okay, they like that's it. That's it.
That's
though.
all it's doing.
That's all. That's it. Just really annoying
Nothing
W2. That's stupid hard to interact with, and then that's where the good stops. Really. W1 you can confirm it into things, right? You can combo with W1, and I will say W1 does pierce as well, but like let's get it. Compared to Nira's W1 pierces, it's still not. That's not enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's kind of
Which
bad.
means that she doesn't just lose to some in matchups.
So
like,
besides
I
being
think
annoying, I don't
it's
really
not
think she
enough.
has that much going for her.
I agree.
It's literally the exact same case as Nair, where she's like she's annoying. She's just annoying and unfun to fight. But
I feel like she could actually be a really nice like Celsi or terrible matchup if she didn't suck ass.
she is annoying for terrible if you're not playing root.
Like if you're not, yeah.
Because it's like with the root,
think
it's
I
just like
agree.
okay, yeah, I only need to hit you so many times. So it's just like
Yeah.
I don't need to hit Dark Wave that many times. It's just like, in fact, I don't even hit Dark Wave. I just need to hit you with something, and then I have Entangle, right? So like, if you are being careless with W2, I'm just gonna Entangle you, and then the second you get hit with Entangle, you can spam W2 all you want. I'm gonna wait. you're eating this damage, but yeah, no, this character's bad. All right, I'd probably put her next to Nira.
Numbers, do you agree with that? Do you have any specific points you want
Put
to
her
make?
below Nira.
I would agree. I think
she is number one worst in the game. And in my opinion, it's not even a contest.
I agree that she's really, really good at annoying you. Like she's super good at like stopping you from walking up on her. But if you don't have to be in the front, she does nothing. And like she doesn't get anything off of just harassing you. She just kind of throws herself at you and then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to ignoring this.
I do know Barry from EU pops off here and there.
He's good.
I guess. Like
He's
good,
a
but I
good
feel
player.
like it's less so that like Reva is doing well. It's more like the deck is inherently like you play aggressive because if you don't play aggressive, then you could just like see you can see all the cards one by one happen one by one and nothing matters anymore.
I think he's just a solid player.
I think it's just like I feel like it's primarily just like aggression. It's just playing aggressive is what's pulling through, not necessarily
I agree.
The content of the cards.
Yeah, character has no initiative, can harass you for engaging with her, but doesn't actually do anything off it. Bad character. I agree with bottom one.
Well, straight there. I don't think there's any more need for a discussion on that.
Yeah, we can just agree she sucks.
I'm just trying to think of other examples, but that's it. All right, Saffron.
All right, so Saffron. So for the good, Sparkler, really good weapon. It is absolutely insane for combos. It is combo glue, and it combos into itself. That's how glue it is. It literally glues into itself. But yeah, and then it's also a really, really good mashing tool. And I think that having a good mashing tool in this game is a very good upside to have when you have a really good mashing tool, right? So great for combos, great for mashing. I snipe with it sometimes as well. Great at extending. It's overall just a really good weapon. And then Sparktex, I think that's what it's called, right? Sparktex.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Got buffed so that you kind of have to worry about getting hit by it now off angle because now it combos into Sparkler, which combos into pretty much whatever she needs it to. A Sparkler combos into a lot of things. So
Spark Sparkler, Ragnarok.
yes,
Now
Spark Sparkler, Ragnarok, and I've done quite a bit of Sparkler Ragnarok recently. With the deck I was playing on her, that I honestly cannot believe I was even performing somewhat well with that. But
Still different.
Yeah, overall, I think she just has. I don't think Sparktex is as solid of a weapon as Sparkler. I think Sparkler is a really good weapon, and I think Sparkler is just like it's decent. Sparktex is like decent. The buffs did help it like be a lot more useful than it used to be. But I still don't think it's like the most insane weapon ever. But like Sparkler's amazing. Sparkler's just an amazing weapon. I think that this character is good. I think that this character is good, honestly. I think that there's quite a bit that you can do with her. Simply, her combo potential is really good. Her mash is really good. And she has some level of off-angle pressure now, thanks to the Spark Text buff. And so, like, now you actually have to be worried about getting hit by it. And it's 4-away, which means that you can literally sit in the back with it and then Spark Text confirm into something. And then same, once again, you can use it to pressure the back column as well. And then there's some shenanigans you can do. What is it? Push slash Spark Text, and then, like, I believe if they try and mash
it's push slash Sparkler usually. She had some flurry Spark Text.
Oh, it was the flurry, yeah, but that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because they would like hit step.
Yeah, if you hit step, you literally screw yourself.
It was really cool, but then they.
Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't push slash. It was that, but that's gone now. Speaking of that, if you do hit step Spark Text now, like, you actually get punished. It's like that's actually relevant. If you hit,
she can just walk Sparkler now.
Yeah. But I think this character is good.
You have to read Hitstep though.
Honestly, I think this character is like actually good. I'd probably put her. How good are we talking? I put her an A, in my opinion.
Wow.
I mean, like we have like Maple and B tier. There's no way Saffron and Maple are sitting in the same tier.
I think we need to rework our tiers a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Can we add an A plus or an S minus?
Well, we can do that, but let's do that at the end.
Okay. Numbers, did you want to go next on her or want me to?
I mean, I'm trying to think of. Well, I mean, like, it's very little what I have to say. I feel like it's just I think I remember like experimenting with high anchor spells. That's about it, really. I just feel like it's hard to think of like a particular weakness that isn't just like she doesn't none of her weapons are off angle melees, which is like completely fine because she has a projectile and off angle in a essentially a kind of paragon if you really stretch it. Yeah, she's gaming.
I think she's solid. I think she can struggle with structures a little bit, but not too bad. I think generally the issue is most of her pokes and confirms require her to spend 2 mana to reliably hit confirm instead of 1. She can't reliably hit confirm off of just 1 button usually, which is a little finicky. Her damage and weaving her spells into her combos does end up hurting her damage a bit. I think her damage output's only okay, even though her neutral's really well rounded. But I don't know. I think usually she has a lot of blind spots, given her hand. Because, like, yes, she can just throw her weapons at you, but she's got a combo into her spells still. She's still got to hit those spell ranges. So I think that definitely holds her back. Personally, I think I have her, like, on this list between Perilla and Dread in that kind of range. I think I'd put her mid B tier. You both have her A tier though, right?
I remember now. Right. This is season 2 Duelist of Eden, where precision is not that. Where precision being needing too much precision is a real thing.
Yes. Personally,
actually, but then like that happens, and then it's like I get just. No, I feel like Saffron in terms of like precision characters. is harder to work
Realistic
with.
enough,
I
I
feel like
guess.
it's
I don't
it's
know.
harder to work with in VR Shisa in terms of like how the combos go. I think,
I think that
but that's we say that for later.
yeah, given I think we can average her out to bottom of A or top of B, whichever you two prefer.
What was your placement numbers?
I'm like, I would say A because there's no way Saffron and Maple are
Bottom of
sitting in the
A.
same tier.
All right, so
So bottom of A will be.
yeah, I think we could swing at the bottom of A. How's that?
Yeah.
That works.
All right, Seliki.
Sell it. Say your thing. Do your stuff. Say your piece.
All right. So this character, the good, best method of invade, goes 3 tiles. Very good for getting just deep in there where it matters. This character has really good inevitability. Just like she steps at you, you're just like get away, and you throw a hitbox at her. She's like, okay. They get the counter hit refund, and they step at you again.
Yes.
And then they
The
keep
counter hit
doing it,
refund
and
is-
eventually you run out of stuff to throw at them, and then they combo you for more damage than you hit them for. That is literally the game plan of this character. But speaking of that, this character has high damage, obviously. Thanks to Hailblade extensions, this character can consistently hit for a pretty good amount of damage, even off of like smaller things. Just like pretty much, if they confirm into auto, just assume you're taking at least 20. And if you get hit by Step Lance, ow. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's gonna leave a mark.
That's rough, buddy.
Step Lances always has the nastiest combos.
And just like, yeah, and then it's just like, oh, I'm being pressured by Solid. Let me shield. Don't do it.
Don't shield.
Don't shield. You will
She
get
will kill
wonder
you.
if can
absolutely
shield
destroyed.
dodge, actually, but it's like you
Depends on the situation.
Timing it's so tight.
Like, there are situations where you do want to shield this character, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't shield. It actually will end so badly if you shield at the wrong time. Like, usually, really, the only time you should be shielding, that much is just like, okay, this character is holding, like, Breakout, and that's it. Or they're holding, like, Crossfire, and that's it, right? And then it's just like, okay, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to sit in the back, and then I'm going to shield the off angle. But if you try and shield any out of any of this character's you're cooked. You're done. Don't shield. So, yeah, just kind of just destroys your shield if you ever try to use it as a method of escaping. And then this character has off angle for days. Character has off angle for days. I have been hit at some angles that I didn't even know were possible. Honestly. By freaking Vari on this character. Like, literally, they'll just not be anywhere near me. And then I end up getting hit somehow. I'm like, what? Like,
the worst
where did you come from, bro?
Worst part about fighting Celsi isn't even like the reach. It's the way that you can just kind of arbitrarily delay when you hit people. In a way, there's like you could just like you let go shield too early, dodge too early, or even dodge too late. And it's like, well, it's like you don't. It's a high agency matchup for both players, where it's like both players have a lot of control of what they can do to each other, and it's vain. And they go hard both ways.
But yeah, this character is just really, really good at winning the damage race against a lot of strategies. And winning the damage race is a really good method of winning the game in general. It's very effective to literally just do more damage to your opponent, because then you don't have to be as focused on surviving if you're just killing them first. And that is like literally the definition of this character is I'm just going to kill you first. And now that we get to the bad is the fact that this character is forced to eat damage to play the game. Like, in order to really be able to get a lot off of landing Celsi W1, Celsi has to hit W1, right? And hitting W1 is often risky because you have to jump, you have to step at your opponent. And if your opponent's going to know that you're going to be constantly stepping at them, so then they're going to throw out hitboxes to stuff your step. and you're just gonna be regularly eating damage. So if you're not confirming off of the hits that you get, like you really have to make them matter because you are going to get chipped out the entire game, right? So if you are not winning the damage race while getting chipped out, you're just gonna lose. And that's kind of the weakness of this character, I'd say, is that if you're playing a deck that hits harder than the Celicy player that you're fighting, then I think that that's kind of where they can struggle a bit. Because then that makes it impossible to win the damage race if they're fighting another high DPS deck. Because not only are they getting counter hit, they're also getting outpaced while they're getting counter hit, and that can be really tough to deal with for this character. But fortunately, there's not that many strategies in the game right now that are doing that. So this character just turns out to be really good. I think that this character is probably like up there in A, in my opinion.
Numbers, do you have strong thoughts on her? Anything you want to say?
I
You want to go
remember.
next?
I remember when we said Celicy's damage was rather lightweight.
To be fair, a lot of other things got hit, and the
Yeah,
Celicy's got
that's
better at
why.
hitting her stuff.
It's really just like the strong ones have been hit, and now the strong ones have been hit, and now the ones who haven't been hit are still kicking because they haven't been hit. But anyway,
Yeah,
I feel like in some respects you can play around Celsey through good footwork. On some instances, they can outplay you. I feel like it's just there's a lot of ways for both players to outplay each other, and that's what makes it very interesting. That's, I don't think Celicy games are usually going to turn out the same way, especially and with different pilots, even more so. Like I know, like Hika, I don't know if you guys know him. He does like step slash per slash here, and I know nobody else. And he knows like it's very rare for anyone else to do that. But it's like and then it's like at full mana they drop hail blades around the center, so that to not like waste mana for floating on max. And then it's like hmm, there's just a lot of there's a Celis is just very expressive. Really, that's what it comes down to in my mind.
I agree. Generally, how good do you
That's
think
cool.
she is?
I feel like I never really understood like her having bad matchups because I feel like in these supposed bad matchups, I feel like she has the agency to pull through.
Yeah, they're not like
It's like saying like
awful
Tara
match.
would lose to Saffron and Gunner because like she'd get counter hit all the time. But it's like if you know what you're doing, I don't think that matters. And if you know what you're doing, it's like you can play around that, and then it's like just a normal matchup now. You just do one thing differently. That's how I'm seeing it, I think.
I guess that's fair. I think generally she's really good right now. She matches up fairly well into the meta, and a lot of her stuff is like, okay, she's going to step at you, like as Windfall said. You hit her, and then she gets mana back, and she just eventually forces her way and chips you out and murders you. She's really good at putting the whole match on a timer, and like a lot of hits, if you hit her while she's stepping, you don't get anything off it. You just hit her, and then it's like, okay, what now?
If you
Because
game hard
she's
enough, I guess.
flying at you. Definitely, there are some combos you can still do in situations where it's fine, but like you're generally just chipping her back while she's hitting you hard. I think she's really good right now.
Oh,
Like she's got great results. She's very popular, very expressive. Her bad matchups are still playable. Honestly, I have her at top of A tier.
I could see that for sure.
What do you think, Windfall?
Yeah, I think that's good placement.
Yeah, I think
I
she's
haven't
really
really
good.
thought about the downside of her being like you have to take damage to play her effectively. But it's like now that you say that, it's like that's pretty darn true. It's hard to see otherwise. But yeah, top of A. I'd put her top of A. I think she's definitely doing better than Harissa.
Sounds good.
Shiso.
Shizo. So
I
honestly,
think
this is
no, I'm not gonna
probably
beat the
one of the characters that I probably will have the most trouble placing, simply because I haven't experienced fighting Shizo too much after they butchered Flurry, um, and made
Butchered
this
Flurry and his gun.
yeah, butchered Flurry, made it unusable on this character, which was kind of
And
like the primary thing that was making Shizo dumb to fight in the first place. Was just Flurry just making this character do half your health consistently. It just added a bit too much consistency to his combos. But without that, I'm sure the damage has gone down significantly. Um, Simply just due to the fact that like Flurry added a lot of consistency because it was both a starter and extender that puts you in the back, right? That is a very big deal because
mm-hmm.
that allows for a lot of high damage extensions. If you would just get straight pushed to the back in the middle of any combo string where Shizo can now fall up into things like backstab and four ways. And that's gone. So I think that the damage consistency of the character definitely has taken a hit because of that. And then also, without Flurry as a starter, that's also a really big deal because that means that this character is this whose neutral is already not good is now worse.
Yeah.
But despite that, we have still seen like Luna's still playing this character, right?
And doing well.
And yes, and
Wait,
they
really?
have been doing well.
Well, she's mainly focused on Violet now.
But we still have seen this character perform a bit with what we've seen Potato, we've seen Luna both perform somewhat with this character even after the nerfs happen. So this character still definitely has some things going for them. At the end of the day, Gun is still a good combo tool. It still has really good frame data. It's still glue. It's just now there's not Flurry to add on top of the glue. So and then obviously it still does a high amount of damage, and the character can still hit somewhat fairly hard. Harder than average, I would say. Still harder than average. It's
I
just
agree.
nowhere near as dumb as it used to be. This character is no longer two tapping you off of literally anything. They have to work a lot harder for what they get now. And for the bad is still the same bad that there was before. This character still probably suffers from front denial, I would assume.
Yes.
And
But now that all her stars got gutted, the only thing Shizu can really do is the far away dog pile.
yeah,
The
but
VO2
Yeah.
dog pile, I guess.
but as for where they are, honestly, I don't really have a solid placement on this character right now. Simply because I just haven't experienced fighting them enough after the nerfs happened. So I'll let you two go first on your placements.
Numbers, do you want to go in terms of talking about him?
Actually
'Cause
curious
I
about
think-
your opinion.
I don't know.
before-
I think he's okay. I think he got gutted. Because he has no boxing now to save his life. And gun is so much more risky and neutral now because you can't step out of it. You can't do gun step slash anymore. It's not true. It used to be, which really sucks for it. And he lost a lot of combos because of that, because of those 2 frames he lost. For example, 5 away minigun doesn't combo after gun anymore. Along with
lost
losing
steps.
Flurry, which guts his combos and guts his neutral a lot. So he's super precise and neutral with a low resource. He is literally unplayable as soon as gun goes away. So he has to kill you quick, which means he kind of has to run high roll. And high roll's okay. He definitely hits hard, and he has an okay neutral, I guess. But he's just not special. And if they have structures, it sucks.
I
think
feel
he's
like
like-
structures he can pull through. It's not done. It's not so
It
bad.
depends where they're putting him.
I guess, yeah, that's fair.
I have him in low B, probably on this list.
Low B sounds quite high. Actually,
You put him lower, maybe in C.
Yeah, I'd probably put him C. Yeah.
I'm fine with either. I lean more towards low B, but
Oh yeah, he also lost weapon 1 Magna Flare. That was another.
which sucks.
He basically lost the whole flame package.
Yep. Windfall, where do you want to tiebreak that at? If we're talking low B, high C.
We're looking at low B, high C. Um, I'd say, just thanks to the fact that we still have seen some level of performance, I'd probably say we could probably throw him in low B.
I'm fine with that.
I feel like in regards to Shuso, this is where we go on. I have to go on like my own self off tangent where it's like, am I just getting washed or is like are people like monsters or what? I feel like I don't. This is going to come up with VO as well, but it's like it get obliterated by like some VO style dog pot, and it's like, am I just? But in this, like, I can hear and see from other people, it's like they're doing completely fine against it, and it's like why would from what I know that's what it should be. Is like, am I just bad or my opponent's monsters? I don't know. And like, and you know, it's like I work 72 hours per every week, but it's like even then, it's like where how am I supposed to interpret this?
I have no idea. I don't know.
It's just been like the perpetual torment of every time I play DOE at this point, at like a competitive level.
That's fair. Yeah. Are we good to move on to shopkeeper, you think?
Yeah, I'd say we're good to move on.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, shopkeeper. So, good things. Character has a trap weapon. Trap weapons are really good. There's only been a couple characters with trap weapons, I believe, which is Perilla and Shopkeeper, and both times the trap weapons were problematic for a minute.
Yeah.
Trap weapons are just a very good thing to have, just to have that, because traps normally is just like are a great way of zoning and stalling out the game. So to have that on a weapon just gives you constant access to that, and then it also removes the counterplay of disarming the trap, because it's just like, okay, you disarmed it, they just put another one down. And
yeah, like, so what?
Yeah, so it's just like when you have a trap weapon, it just means that you have to just play around there just being traps. Like, there's no, oh, I don't want to deal with this, so I'm gonna disarm it, or I'm gonna put a structure on it to disarm it. No, you just have to deal with the fact that it's there.
If you squint hard enough, Nira has a really good shopkeeper matchup because you can just drop the spike on mines.
If you squint really hard.
Yeah.
So shopkeeper has the trap, which automatically gives her a built-in method of front denial, and her trap does hit stun, unlike Perilla's right now. So
And pulls to the front.
yes, and it pulls to the front, which I will get to right now. Is also the fact that Shopkeeper's trap also sucks to get hit by, because if you do get hit by it, then she can actually combo off of the trap. Because if you're in the back and if you're trying to camp her, well, then she can throw traps in the back, and then now your back column's unsafe because you've lost your ability to move vertically, which then forces you to move forward. And if you get hit by the trap, well, then now you get brought all the way forward, and then this character can combo you off of that with Kinetic Wave, Push Slash, or whatever spell that they're currently holding, shotgun, whatever it is, right? So this character has a very good way to not only camp you out and deny the front from you, but this character also has a very good way of preventing you from camping them as well. And then this character also has really nice off angle because of a special weapon that we like to call Gravitas, which combos into a lot of things that you don't want to get hit by.
You really don't.
Yeah, like guillotine, which will execute you at like 20 something. Well, what's the execute range on that? Like
20 health.
20 health, yeah, 20 health.
Well, usually it's 21 because you're getting pulled into it. So
yeah,
it
21 HP execute. So you get executed at a whole 8 HP above lethal. And then also Fadeaway Gravitas, which is borderline RNG whether or not you're actually going to avoid it.
Yeah.
it is pretty difficult to avoid. So it is high inevitability as a result. So really
Pop
strong
you
off
shield
angle,
does.
really good
She can also
methods
do
of.
gravitas into knife and gravitas into thunder. A hit step, but it still deals the damage, which is very funny in the context of you could technically do gravitas knife, gravitas thunder, gravitas, and get the knock damage. I think.
What a character!
Yeah,
How good do you think she is,
this character
Windfall?
just has really good weapons. Um,
Mm.
However, I will say the combination, although both the weapons are really good, the combination of weapons does create a weakness of this character having the 4-way issue, where both their weapons are 4-way, which
Yeah.
can definitely cause issues because 4-way is very campable if you know how to do it correctly. And that's kind of been a way that I've beaten Shopkeeper in the past. Is it's like I'm literally gonna put a piece down and then bully you.
Never engage.
Yeah. And then also simply because Shopkeeper has that 4-way as well, that means that this character has no structure clear, none built in.
The
Mm.
structure clear weakness is
Summon
rough.
clear is
Yeah, having a
Summon
structure
clear
clear
is not
weakness
so bad.
is not something you want to have in this game. And I've sniped perp multiple times with turret spam, and it won. Like it wins because this character can't clear structures without spells, and that is
I guess if you really lean hard into that.
yeah,
I
that
guess.
is definitely to not be able to effectively clear structures without spells is a very very bad weakness. Um, if the matchup comes up, because you will just straight up auto lose. So having the 4-way weakness, very relevant. Um, Also makes her a bit more susceptible to invade if they're not trap camping you as well. Because if you do step at them, then there's not that much they can do about it. And then this character also does not have a solid method of mashing as well. As a result,
Okay. Mm.
so
It's also worth mentioning that because because her both of her weapons not only are both 4-way but also have a considerable amount of anchor. It is a somewhat of an opening where if she commits too hard to trying to play out of camping range, you can gap close her and do something about that. It's in terms of like basically it's like you if she goes to the front, you can go to the front. If she goes to the back, you can be at the back. So it's like it's how do you put? I guess you could say it's honest gameplay.
That's the main issue with that is fade away.
Oh yeah, there are some definitely ways to like bend those rules, but for the most part, it is I feel like if you can act in that exception, there is a good back and forth that you get here. Whereas like
Okay,
you're not like stomping them out.
Windfall, where did you have her? Like, what kind of range
I
are
throw
you
her an A.
thinking?
I
Okay,
think she's
numbers.
I think
I
she's
can't
A.
see her not being an A.
This character is really good.
So I want to go over some too. Her damage output absolutely absurd. There's so many spells only she's allowed to run, and she gets ridiculous value. Like guillotine and fade away.
Hmm.
She threatens you from anywhere. She again, gravitas is basically RNG if you dodge it half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her counter deck potential that she can run is ridiculous. Because by nature, she chips you out pretty hard with her spells. And she shuts down a lot of offense just by her traps. So she can like custom fit in extra things to kind of shut down your offense, and her counter decks are really crazy. But you can counter deck her back fairly well as well. I think she's really good overall though. I have her in between Celicy and Harissa personally. What do you two think of that specific placement?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd say that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's really good.
I like Shopkeeper. Always been a particularly well done character. Speaking, but there's one better that we're going to right after.
We'll see. We'll see. Tara, numbers. Do you want to start?
I mean, like I would, but then it's like I have At this point, it's like I feel like I'm a walking knowledge check with how little how out of touch I've been in the game as of late. It's like I
I'm around.
desperately need that that first 200 of just playing the game to finally remember that I can do
Yes,
more than knowledge check people.
we can still start. Windfall, you can go for it on a
All right, so
Terra.
for the good, Terrible's weapons. So we got what is it?
Terra,
Terraform.
Terra.
Oh, did I
Regular
say
Terra. Yeah,
terrible?
regular Terra.
Terrible's
Yes.
after.
All right, Terra, but she's not upset yet. All right. So pros. Characters got high damage. You'll get hit by this character, get earthquaked into like a lot. Like you'll get earthquaked into like 30 to 40 damage depending
It
on.
sucks. Getting hit sucks.
Yeah, getting hit sucks. Getting hit by this character sucks a lot. And they're actually fairly good at landing the hits because dark matter is pretty darn good at setting up 4-way hits that this character needs to nuke your HP bar. So they've got that going for them. There's a lot of dark matter shenanigans nowadays, and I believe Terra still has flurry, right?
Yeah, Terra starts flurry. It's
Yeah.
in fact it's now pretty much only for Terra at this point,
Yeah, and then
which is fine.
Terra having flurry as a starter is very relevant because it gives Terra a way to kind of walk up and just hit you, right? Before they had like PS for that, but now they have flurry, which covers the entire column, and is also incredibly fast as well. And then it you get hit by that, and then it's a full combo. And then on top of that, it also works with Terrible's other tools as well. Because you're just like, okay, let's say you get hit by Terra, although they do have to be in the front for it to work, unless they like. Actually, no. No, if you get hit in the back and then you get earthquaked and then flurry still works. Flurry still works there.
Yep.
So there's just a lot of flurry just adds a lot of situations where this character nukes you. So the damage consistency of this character has gone way up from the past thanks to flurry. And then dark matter to set that up means that this character is like genuinely kind of threatening to fight now. Like this character is actually like kind of scary to deal with. And then obviously we have the other side of Terraform as well, which is the crack, which I think is a bit relevant for certain matchups because it is a method of front denial on the situations where you need it. It's like, for example, if I'm fighting Chi, then I have a way to permanently
Shut down and
have cracked tile in the front to prevent them from comboing me into like 30 plus damage, right?
Stops blink as well.
Yeah, and it stops blink. So anything where like Wrecking Ball would stop that, Terra can spend 2 mana to upkeep that and prevent that thing from being used against her, which is very relevant. For the drawbacks, once again, for the 4-way issue that I believe Shopkeeper has, where you have nothing that immediately hits in front of you, which makes structures a lot more annoying. I think Terra at least has dark matter to deal with structures that are kind of being spammed on the opponent's side of the field. But structures obviously being placed on her side of the field can be really annoying to deal with. You will have to use your spells to deal with them, which is a drawback whenever you have to use your spells to deal with something like that instead of your weapons, because you don't really want to spend those resources on things like that. And then also, if you are kind of going hard into like a 4-way combo deck on Terra, that can get camped depending on the deck that you're fighting. Because, ironically, Break is really good at camping 4-way combo Terra. Because, obviously, if there's broken tiles in the way, you can't combo 4-way. And that is a relevant weakness. So, but I still think, I think this character right now I think she's actually good. Like, genuinely.
I agree.
I'd probably drop her at like bottom at A.
I think she's better. I low key think she's better than Saffron.
Honestly, you could put her there. Like, yeah.
I know, like, JP, they actually put her at or nearly around the top. But I can't tell if it's like I'm pushing that or if there's more. But I know they play it, but it's like can't tell if it's like how much of it is like their own like findings.
I think the character is really solid. I think I agree with pretty much everything that's said. She's really good at picking off specific spots with crack. She can actually use fade away, which is neat. Her weapon one is obscenely fast. Like I think I'm pretty sure it's faster than Thunder, which is crazy.
It is slightly faster than Thunder, yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Weapon 2 has some interesting stuff with popping it early and with inverter.
Mm.
She's got a lot of good stuff and really, really, really good damage output. I think she's good. I agree with the placement. I have her either right above Saffron or right below, right in that range.
Yeah.
Numbers. What are your
Yeah, I'm
final
just
thoughts on the character as our resident Terra?
Oh man, I feel like I should have like endless things to say, but I feel like the faraway strategy isn't what I would consider like the best she can do. What you should be aiming for her to do, because again, you can get camped. And rather, and then we'll go into the next character is a very big reason why I feel like you by trying to do faraway strategies is really fucking bad. But one thing that did happen to her that's a little bit different now is that she does have Vine Pull. And Vine Pull is very good for immediately popping dark matter, and also just being a projectile that sticks around to you in front, so you could essentially cast Vine Pull and keep walking forward like it's like you're doing walk the doggy on a yo-yo. And if they cast auto slash as you're doing that, then they get hit by it. Basically, it gives her like a lot of much needed defense, and then in turn she can run entangle and strangle as
She can run root stuff.
to come
Yeah.
to, yeah, she can run root stuff, yeah. And then and you can go into like a more neutral heavy way of playing her, where you can start like trading blows rather than like trying to like seek for the confirm.
That makes
Mm.
sense. Would you agree with that kind of placement though, right around
Mm,
Saffron?
I'm not sure where exactly I place her, because like these days I just get obliterated by the next two characters whenever in general. So but it's like I know it didn't always used to be like that. At least not for VO, I would think.
Are you at least fine with right next to Saffron?
I definitely think she's better than Saffron. I don't know. I feel like I put her
We've
same as Shopkeeper. I'm tired with Shopkeeper. I can't see her being worse, being the same level as I can't see her being equal or less than or equal to Harissa. I feel like
hmm,
she's can't see that.
I think that's a you disliking or not thinking Harissa's very good thing though.
Possibly.
Yeah,
More
I'm
like
fine with
I
putting
but
her.
it probably helps to know that like I know a lot more. I know a lot more mix-up opportunities Terra has, and that in turn, like, probably
That's fair.
changes because, like, I'm not going to like if I play the game at the level where I should be playing, there's no such thing as like opponent who will be able to turtle me forever.
Yeah, I personally have her probably at bottom of A. Um, but we can put her wherever
Yeah,
in A as long as it's below Celicy and Shopkeeper. I can't see her above those two.
yeah.
So
So right in the
anywhere
middle of A
in the
tier, right?
bottom three of A,
Bottom three.
I
Yeah.
don't personally mind too much as long as she's there.
Mm.
So what are we tossing her?
Windfall, what are you? We can put her anywhere between the Harissa Saffron area.
All right,
Yeah.
throw it in there.
Your choice. Good enough. Good
All
enough.
right.
Terrible.
You guys consider her S tier?
Huh,
That's funny.
hmm.
Just
Good
I'm
question.
not even going to like to like build up to it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, she's the best character in the game.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Windfall, what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, so let's get into the good. There's a lot of that. So character probably has the best weapon combination out of any character in the game. You have Comet for attacking opponents that don't want to approach, and it literally blows up their back. Like they're literally getting back shots. Like literally back is getting blown up. And if they would decide to walk up, well, then you have Dark Wave to make them not want to walk up, because if you get hit by Dark Wave,
That's
literally
plus
anything after
49.
that, literally plus 10 million. Like if I hit you with Dark Wave, I can like go cook like spaghetti and then come back, and I still have time to hit you. Like
It's long.
hit
It's
it.
long
That's
enough
what
that
I
you
was
can do weapon 2 into vivisection.
yeah,
Nothing in
and-
between that or after.
Or fade away.
But let me just go.
Oh yeah,
weapon
right.
by
You can
weapon.
do that. I actually tested that. You can do that.
Yeah, what were you saying?
But let's just go weapon by weapon. So Comet, it's a projectile, kind of like Saffron Sparkler, but it's nowhere near as good at comboing. But it's still really good for kind of stuffing things.
Well, the projectile itself is not as good for comboing. The explosion on.
Oh
the
yeah,
other hand-
we'll get to that. But it's really good for just using as an interruption tool if you're not trying to use it to combo. For comboing, if you manage to hit the explosion, which is not that hard to do because you just miss it on purpose, and then it blows up it blows up in the radius, right?
Blows your back.
And it pushes the opponent forward. That is very relevant because that means that you can sit in the front, and if you blow up the opponent's back and they get pushed forward, they are now 3 away from you, which means you can hit things like Entangle or Whiplash. And
Let me fix that for you. You don't even have to be in the front to do Comet.
Oh yeah. You don't even have to do that.
three-way.
You don't have to be in the front.
You could be at the back. Comet, walk up to the front, Whiplash.
Yeah, you can do that. I've done that before. you can also do that. You don't have to be in the front.
Investment, zero positional commitment.
So yeah, you don't even have to commit to being in the front. You can literally be in the back, Comet, walk up, and then by the time it explodes in their back, you're in position to get the punish. So overall, just a really, really good tool. Very strong in neutral. Has a variety of uses and combos quite well, and enables certain things like that would not normally be as threatening, like Entangle Whiplash, to all of a sudden be threatening. Because guess what? If you shield Comet and whatever I do next, like if whatever I do next is fast, like Whiplash, you shield Comet into Whiplash, that's true. And if you're in the tipper, you get shield break instantly. True shield break. And if you shield Comet into Entangle, you die. You dead. Like, I'm comboing you because now you're rooted, and it doesn't matter. There's no consent from that point forward. You're getting touched. Like the vines are coming out.
You can't avoid. You can't avoid Comet forever. It's impossible.
So
it's fucking 2 mana. It's a 2 mana weapon for 1.
And then if you think Comet's good, Dark Wave. Dark Wave is insane. Dark Wave is so insane. So let's just get started with Dark Wave. So just on the utility aspect of Dark Wave hits structures that are behind you. Hit structures all around you. Literally the best structure clear in the game. It's not even close to anything else.
Not even close.
Best structure clear in the game.
Kind of
Safest
impossible
structure
to
clear in the game.
evaluate Queen and Hazel in this kind of environment because it's about as unfavorable as it gets.
Like this weapon alone is single-handedly keeping bombs out of the meta. Because the second you fight Terrible with a bomb deck, you're just losing. Because bombs aren't doing anything to this character at all. Because this character can disarm bombs from such a safe angle that it just invalidates their viability. Because the main way that people were making bombs viable was throwing them in the back column where they're too difficult to deal with reasonably for a lot of characters. And then Terrible just no. She just doesn't care. Dark Wave doesn't care. It just pushes them forward. And just like, yeah, it makes structures just bad against Terrible because Dark Wave is so effective at clearing them. And then it pushes them forward on top of that. And then not only does it do that, Dark Wave is a very solid boxing tool. Very good for keeping people out of the front. It's not so good at taking the front because it's slow and it does lose to other boxing options. If you Dark Wave and Maple W1s, you will lose.
People are just like, oh, but people often say it's like Dark Wave loses to melees. It's like, what are you doing to try and cast both players to be casting those at the same time? It's
Yeah, you're
definitely
just
something that
using
you
Dark
do
Wave
to
at the wrong
prevent.
time.
You do that to prevent, not to react.
But
Correct.
so yeah, it's good for catching people who are trying to walk up front, but it's not really that great for taking the front because it's going to lose out to pretty much anything that's faster, and there's plenty of stuff that's faster. However, there's more utility. You think I was done? No. Invade Dark Wave. That crap is so good.
Apprehend tech.
Literally. Just like I literally
Any way you can make, any way you can make Dark Wave connect in the middle of a combo is spicy.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, like, I haven't even gotten to the combo aspect yet. I'm literally just talking about doing step slash dark wave and just catching people because they think they can do something and they can't, and then they get counter hit or they just get hit because they decided to click a button and they just didn't have the right. Dark wave took away
You're
their
plus
rights.
a billion.
So, but yeah, literally you can literally do step dark wave and then you immediately have pressure on the opponent because the second wave of dark wave is still like going by the time you return, which then allows you to then capitalize on that pressure to help get follow-ups. And then on top of the fact that you can literally just step dark wave at people when you don't know what to do with it. Literally step dark wave combos. You can do step what was it? It's been a minute. What was it? Step dark wave apprehend.
Apprehend tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's step apprehend.
I feel like
Step
Gab
apprehend.
won,
Yeah,
but
it's
who
step apprehend
cares?
dark
It's
wave.
like
You're right.
plus 20, it's like plus 50.
But yeah, step apprehend dark wave, which is like an insane amount of plus frames. Literally just step missiles, except for this character. And then on top of that, you also have dark wave combos off of pulling spells, aka Vine Pull.
I think Vinepool's the only one that can really do it though.
Yeah, now yes.
Pull-
It used to
Pull does work.
double
if
team
they're
can
in
still do
back
it.
row, I think.
It's just not as viable. Lasso used to be able to do it, but Lasso got changed. But yeah, so then you have Dark Wave Vine Pull, which brings us to Root Terrible, and why
Oh my.
Root Terrible is so insane. I genuinely don't know how anyone can think
Best
this
deck
deck
in
is
the
not
game.
insane.
I don't. Well, I mean, like Root is just a package. There's more you can do with Terrible on
Wait,
top of that.
Yeah.
I feel like if Terrible just holds Sheer, it's like it's a matchup so fucked up that the reason why I say that like the 4-wave Terra is not the future is because of this one character. This one character is like you can't cook at the back, so you need to go front. And it's like at that point my weapons don't work, and at that point why am I playing Terra?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Like, Terrible with Entangle and Vine Pull is just insane. Because it's just like, oh, you want to camp Entangle? Too freaking bad. You get hit by Comet, and then I Entangle you, it doesn't even matter if you shield, you die anyway. If you get hit, or you shield, you die. Because it's just like, okay, you can't shield whatever the heck's coming after that. Because if you shield Strangle, done. You're done. You're getting shield broke. You shield Vine Pull, you're probably also getting shield broke. So it's just like, what do you do? Literally, the only thing you can do is just dodge, literally just dodge Comet until I get sick of throwing it at you.
Yeah.
that
really
is
helps
quite
that all
literally
the
the
root spells are
counterplay.
meaty.
Is to just dodge Comet until you either start chipping me out from the back,
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a genuine reliable one.
or I get sick of throwing it at you and I decide to do something else. But literally, and then on top of that, the worst part is if you get hit, right? I do the Entangle, I do the Vine Pull, I get the Dark Wave extension off of that. Because Vine Pull Dark Wave is true.
Yeah, you're getting murdered.
Yeah, and at that point, you're just taking insane amounts of damage. Because Dark Wave is an additional 4 damage, and it pretty much pays for itself because it lasts so freaking long. It almost pays for itself. It is not even. It costs like a fourth of a mana in a combo because of how plus it is. So it's just like it. Literally, Root Terrible not only has really good neutral, it's just like when it hits you, you just die. Like it does so much damage, and then it also has really good off angle potential as well, because strangle off angles.
Terrible.
and then Comet off angles, and then you're running Northwind, which also off angles, which also makes Comet 10 times harder to deal with. Because it's just like, oh, what if I
She
throw
also
Northwind
does
and
have
Comet at
the
you at the same time? What about that?
she is the insane setup into step auto of Northwind and Comet into step auto. Like you throw those out and then step auto at them, and they're getting hit. Like they're just gonna get tagged.
It really says a lot when it really says a lot when you can just comment into Spear Wave back when Spear Wave was played a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It really says a lot when that is like 3 layers of interaction.
Yeah, no, Comet's so.
This has to be a mistake. Like the more like we ever talk about terrible, it's like this has to be a mistake.
Friendly reminder.
You don't even have to play.
This is after she got nerfed.
She's the most flexible character in the game.
The nerfs change nothing. It's still a 2x3 in the back column.
All the nerfs did is make her actually.
The most it does is push Saffron out of bottom tier because now she can't now it's not Sparkler on top of, now it's not exactly Sparkler, but it's like it still does everything else.
Yeah,
this character's crazy.
So top one, right?
She's so good. Top one. Like, where else are you putting it?
If I could describe with an analogy on like what terrible does to the game, it turns this 8x4 grid into a 4x2.
Yeah. She really
thought about it a long time. That's the best way I can explain it.
She's just really good at shutting down what you want to do.
And it's like yay anti-camp, but it's like you it's like, yeah, you get your anti-camp, but it's like you simplified the game.
I don't think she's an unhealthy top tier. I think she's one of the healthiest top ones we've had in a while.
I strongly disagree. I mean, like, yes, you have a fair game back and forth, but it's like, God forbid you try to cook.
I'd prefer this to Perilla.
They existed at the same time.
Yeah, Perilla was so much stronger.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's comparable. Nothing touches that character.
Yeah, I mean,
what she was. Last character. So
this one,
we're gonna have some different opinions on here.
This one's probably gonna be the most different opinion because it's like, in my mind, it's like my assessment would be the same as your guys, except I get destroyed like more than 90% of the time versus this character. I don't know if it's because because of my long ass work shifts or if it's
who are the players.
Kishi, Olga, Yuki. I lose.
Olga? Are you losing to Olga usually?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. These days, I'm pretty sure, yeah. When we play VO, I don't feel like I ever I can't remember on top of my head. It starts to blur, but it's like I fucking can't.
I think
and I know it's like
just...
and I know those two are like monsters, basically monsters in comparison to the normal player. Like I tried playing their VO deck, which is push / snowfall, hailstone, thunder, backstab, dark grasp, whirl, and air rifle. It's like it looks like a Sakias deck. You're like, sure, it does 50 damage, but you need to hit it. But I don't know if it's like, am I bad at like anticipating this kind of attack pattern, or if it's like I see everything. There's nothing new for me to learn, but I get hit by anyway, and it's like a single mistake costs me the game. It's like I could like play Gunner, and it's like I can have like all the great neutral I want, but one mistake and I'm fucking dead.
So, how good do you think she is?
Despite all of that, I mean, like, I know JPC's VO is #1, above terrible, surprisingly enough.
I think that's I
think that's a bit extreme. I would put her at the same level. No, I would put her one above Shiso. Well, probably like middle of this tier list. Probably better than Hazel. if I had to if I trust my knowledge. But considering if I don't trust my knowledge, then she's like, I guess she's S tier. I can't really complain about that. And this is where it's like what I see, what I hear, and what I know about the game is breaking apart.
That is fair.
All right,
So
let's hear what you guys have to
Windfall,
say.
you can go first because I obviously have a lot to say about Violet.
So Violet, I think I kind of had a similar opinion about her to Chi, or at least like I think if you're not countering Violet, I think she can be really really hard to fight. Because I think her strengths are good strengths. She has a very fast weapon, which is fast to the point where like genuinely like it can be a bit suffocating if you're actually trying to deal with it, like up close. And if you don't have a fast or off angle method to counteract that. And then she also has really good damage. She has fairly good methods of initiating as well, where it's just like you do have to worry about her W2 a bit because you can be caught by a stray W2 and then get autoed and then take a whole bunch of damage. And there's also the Hitstep chasing thing, but like I don't really want to put that as a character strength. I think that's just a Mickle thing, but I don't really see everyone do
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
I
like
don't
it's
see
just like
any other
it's just
Violets do
it's
it.
just a feature.
Well, it's more so like she has the potential to do a lot of crazy stuff if she guesses right in her combos. But no one else is doing it, so it's like, is it
Like,
how real should we consider it?
I mean, like if it's any, if it, from what I remember, you posted like the Mickle versus Looney where you guys both played VO. It's
Yes.
like I just from like few 1 minute in, I could see like the level of precision that I see from you guys, and then I compare it to like, and I'm gonna be really brutally honest, but it's like when I compare it to like Kishi and Yuki's, like Kishi and Yuki's may as well be seeing ahead of time. May
I
as
don't
well
know.
be having.
I've always beat both of them when I've played that when
I
I
feel
played
like
Violet against
maybe this
them.
might even be a lag thing. There's so many variables here. It's like I don't even know like how to assess this.
Like I've always beat all none of the JP players have ever beat me with Violet like in a session.
That used to be me too. That used to be me too. Is what hurts even more.
And I don't know. Like Windfall, are you good on Violet? Am I good to start talking?
I
Go
still
for
got a few
it.
more things to say.
Yeah, go for it. Go
Yeah,
for
I'll
it.
go
very
for it.
very fast weapon, very good mash, and because she has a fast weapon that's very threatening to get hit by, depending on what her hand is. She can also be pretty scary to box as well. I think that she's a good boxer. I think she definitely gets outboxed by some characters, but usually the characters she gets outboxed by are just absurd at boxing to begin with, like Hari. And then for some of the bad things, she's pretty linear in the literal sense, where her danger zone is quite literally a line in front of her, and she does not really have any way to hit you off angle. Oh, wait, no, not even just. She does not have a way to hit you off angle without spells. That is just a. There is no way.
Yeah.
Her weapons cannot hit you off angle without spells. Um, with that being said, with four-way snowfall, that's a bit more doable now. Thanks to that being a relevant option. To kind of help her threaten that four-ways area where she would normally not be able to hit you with anything other than just trying to fish for W2. And then this character still definitely struggles against front denial. It's just that I don't really think that we're seeing as much of it. Because I don't run front denial on any of my terrible strategies currently, unless I'm playing like lockdown or something like that. So like that's the thing, is that I think Violette is a character that is gonna be really difficult to fight and does really well if you're not running any of the counters. And I think if you are countering her by either running significant front denial or you're playing a character that she doesn't do well into, then I think that she does a lot worse. So she has I guess, a pretty polar matchup spread, I guess, in that sense. And that's pretty much the best way that I think I can explain her.
If you had to put her in a general area on this list,
Oh, I think she's good. Right now, I think she's good. Um, like I'd say I'd throw her in B.
Mm.
okay.
At the very least, she's doing better than Shizu, who plays very eerily similarly to her. With like
I don't know if
with
I
except
agree.
except that Shizu needs ammo and Vio doesn't. Anyway,
Okay.
get cooking.
So Violet, she sure is a character. I think generally her damage output is among the top of the cast. She's not reaching high roll damage necessarily, usually, unless she's primed for good frost stuff or is running a high roll type deck. But she has very good damage output on average. The issue is she has so many blind spots depending on what deck you're running. Usually you're gonna have to get to your good hands to play neutral, and sometimes you just don't run into those till the end, and you're stuck shuffling, which really slows down her average DPS a lot more than a lot of people realize. Also, she dies to hit step unless you're just a god at chasing it, because almost nothing she has is real hit step negation. You kind of just have to chase it. You just have to deal with that, which really hurts her boxing. I know you mentioned boxing is a strength, and it's like, yes, she on paper has good boxing, but she loses at boxing to all the other boxing characters. So, like, if she loses to all the characters that are good at boxing, is she actually good at boxing? Because she doesn't outbox any of them pretty much. It's one of those things where, like, she's better than characters that can't box, but she loses to all the characters that are actually good at it. Um, and she can try to poke you out, but she doesn't really have a ton of ways to effectively initiate versus camping, unless you're running other than steps, and she doesn't really have much to enable them, um, at least in the line of step slash. So I think that overall, her kit on paper is pretty solid. She has good damage output, but she's so linear, and there's so many things that just mess her up and counter her that in a real bracket setting, chances are they're gonna slot something in. A lot of people do, or they're gonna play a matchup that's not good for her. Like if I'm looking at this, I think she does decent into terrible actually. Um, because Terrible's frame data isn't great against her. Terrible's not quick, and Violet's very fast, which is a niche. I think she does decent into Terrible. She gets like taken out back and shot by Gunner, like just absolutely put down by that character. That matchup's miserable. Um, she has no way to engage against him and just gets chipped out. She can't box to save her life against him because he weapon twos. It just sucks. Celsi tends to do well against her. I think Shopkeeper beats her, shuts down her areas too well. Orisa just outboxes her heavily. I think she does okay into Terra and Saffron. Probably loses to Perilla just because she controls the front row a lot better and has comparable damage. Dread, I've always thought Dread beats Violet, but I know that's a relatively hot take. I think Dread's just out camps her, just runs away the whole time. Hazel's like evenish. Mabel just completely shuts down where she wants to play neutral from and outboxes her and beats her. I think Shiso's even. They kind of want the same stuff. Shiso hits harder, Violet boxes
Depends on
better. It's fine.
Shiso. It depends on whether Shiso builds around center mass. Most don't, but if they do,
Yeah, they usually don't. They shouldn't.
I feel
I
like
think she
they
does
should. It's
fine
the
into
only thing that's
Queen,
constant.
fine into
Oh well.
Chiretta. I think she probably loses to Nira because she's one of the characters that actually isn't good at engaging against Nira at all.
Mm.
She does fine to Riva. So it's one of those things where, like, yes, she like slightly loses to most of the cast, but she doesn't really beat anyone. Like, she doesn't have any matchups that are better than maybe slightly winning. And she has a lot of matchups that just absolutely suck. Usually, if Violet's winning, it's on the player being a good player. There's not any matchup that she just kind of does what I'd say good in. Anything more than good. Personally, I would have her top of C on this kind of list. I think she's very lacking in variety she can run, and there's so much stuff that shuts her down. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever tried to play as Violet against a Beam Crystal user, but it's miserable.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah,
there's
that
just
still hasn't changed, has it?
there's too much that she just can't deal with. Tile denial destroys her. And she's very limited in the kind of decks she can run, the kind of cards she can run. I think you have to be way too precise with her to really get the stuff out of her, especially a neutral where you're just like if you've seen how Luna plays against my Violet in neutral, it's she just runs around my blind spots a lot, and it's like, okay, well, I just have to kind of cycle through, mash through half my deck, and hope I can tag her with like Snowfall or Paragon or something like that. It's I don't think she's great. I think her DPS is a lot lower than her combo damage indicates. She has good combo damage, but her actual DPS in terms of like cycling to her stuff and actually landing those combos is a lot lower than most characters would want. So I think I have her in C tier.
Fair enough.
I would not fight you if you put her in B tier, but I
The
can't
worst
put
part
her
is
any
like
higher
the
than
worst part
bottom
is
of
like your
C.
assessment would be exactly what I would be saying, if not for the fact that I get if not for the fact that I get obliterated left and right.
I don't
It's
know.
like
I
I
beat
can't
all the
explain it.
violets every time
I
we
can't
play.
explain it. Besides, it's like I know I shouldn't say that. Like I feel like I suck at the game because I don't, and it's fucking bad, low self esteem thing. But it's also like how if I'm not
You're
bad, and it'd
good.
be
I
just like,
just
are they like insane at aiming at this? But then
yes,
like I hear from
yes,
you
yes.
guys, and it's like you guys beat them like every time. It's just like, what the fuck is
Well,
going on?
Yuki and Kishi are absolutely just god tier players. They are just ridiculously good players. I don't think you can treat losing to them as a way to speak to the character.
I feel like it happens to like I don't think it's a specific. I don't think it's specifically them either. I'm pretty sure I lose to Olga too. I'm pretty sure it's even Zoomer.
Zoomer's really good too. Zoomer's
Zoomer's
probably
also really
carried
good.
yeah, yeah.
Zoomer played Shiso a lot in season in the early days of
But
season 2, and it's like and
like
onwards.
with Violet, I've been recently like I was a believer in her again recently. Um because I was beating a bunch of players I was just mostly like skill gapping. And then I
Yeah.
played Shoal, and I was reminded very, very swiftly why this character is not good. She
Mm.
she's she's maybe the least solo viable character in the game. Because I think she has the most awful
She's the worst one to
matchups.
one trick. Yeah,
I think
I
she
would
has the
think so
most
too.
like the highest quantity of matchups that are just unplayable.
Mm.
But I think she does have enough strengths and matchups she can play, and she does okay in. But I can't. She's not Nira. She's not Riva. Um, I think I put her in a similar vein of Queen and Chi personally, where like she can play the game generally, and she does okay, but it's mostly on the player, and she's got a lot of downsides. I don't put her in that like tier one above where their strengths are really strong. Because her only strength is combo damage, and anyone can do combo damage. That's her big strength. So I
I
put her in
feel like
C.
in terms of combo, I feel like hers are. If you can pop off on her at the level that they are to me, I feel like her combo potential is better than any is far more malleable and what has higher consistency and output than any of the others. In my opinion, I think she does the most damage in the. I think she has the best combo damage in the game, but assuming that you reach that level, I don't know if we can assess that level of consistency with confirms as the norm, but it is what I'm seeing. So it's like,
I don't know. Like
sure.
I've played them, and I just don't like. I get hit hard when I do get hit. I'm just not getting hit.
See, why can't I do that? Why can't I do the same?
Because you don't play Violet. You don't have.
I know, but it's like there's like nothing for me to. No, it's just like I
I think
I just like need like an extra 100 hours of doing nothing but playing this game.
maybe Windfall. Where do you want to end up putting her then?
So I'd say we can either slot her at top of C or bottom of B. In that case,
I would much prefer top of C personally, but I'm not gonna fight you on it.
I'm
Like
not going. I'm
I'll
not going to
concede
contest
if
on you
you.
because the theory I align with perfectly. It's just that in practice I cannot say that.
I
I just put her at top of C. It's fine.
If you want to put her at very bottom of B, I will concede that
let's
and be
even out
fine
the
with
tier
it. But I
list.
prefer C.
Let's even out the tier list a little bit.
okay. Well, either
I will
way, we're
say
probably
for
gonna make
like
Yeah, we need a split.
yeah.
So
I will say
what are we
for
thinking for tier split here?
Guess
Because
we're moving on.
Honestly, make an F tier.
an F tier.
I'm gonna be
Fair
real.
enough,
I think
let's do
Mira and
that.
Riva deserve it.
I don't think it's necessary to put them that far
Okay.
below.
I mean,
Like they
No, I mean,
That's one tier
as in
below
sudden you
B.
can split the top.
well, then we can just
We can just
move
split-
everything.
Yeah, you can.
We can
We
reorganize
just need
the
another
tiers a little
line, is
bit.
all. It's just that one of them happens. One of them follows the alphabet. And no, it's just that all of them follow the alphabet except for S.
I think that like I can't justify an S plus.
Yeah.
I think an F is the easiest place to put.
I
a
also
new
think
tier.
like A minus, B minus.
Unless you want to
like,
put an
that
A
feels
plus
odd.
tier.
I don't
Actually,
like
I'd be
doing
fine with
that.
an A plus tier.
You do like an A plus, B plus, B minus.
We'll do an A
I don't know.
plus.
I mean,
A plus.
Just add in an A
I feel
plus.
like yeah, I don't know. It's at that point. This is just like personal opinion. I just feel like having that's unnecessary. It's like having normal, rare, super rare, ultra rare, super super rare, super 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 rare kind of thing. It's like what could we
Deal, that
just like
stuff's
not
peak.
spread that? Oh my god.
My secret rare. Okay, yeah, we can do A plus.
Yeah, let's just do A plus.
Yeah.
It follows our grading papers, I guess.
Yeah, I need to reorganize the color scheme. Crap.
I know you get it. It's so make
just
that
put,
the
just
color
put S
of.
S as magenta. Oh, weird. That works too.
I'm fine with that. I'm
was
fine
just
with
gonna-
it.
And there we go. More.
Yeah, there we go.
And that one just great.
Poor Nira. Poor Riva.
All right, and then we're gonna do what?
yeah,
A
we can
plus.
do A
I mean,
plus.
I will. Despite everything being all said and done, I'll be eternally pissed at what happened to Frost.
Yeah. So A plus. We definitely move up Celicy, definitely move up Shopkeeper.
Yep.
I think we can leave the rest in just A. And we can bump up Perilla and well, I don't know. Do you want to bump up? Are you guys fine bumping up Perilla?
No.
Because I think she fits more in line with the A tiers than the B tiers here.
Yeah, I can't see Perilla. I mean, considering like Perilla's like combo consistency, I can't see Perilla and Jedward being in the same spot. You know what's funny about like speaking of like the Via thing and also the Shiso thing, it's like it's like I told him, it's like the theory stuff behind Shiso is like, yeah, Shiso's fine, and it's like, let me show you, and they just get obliterated as if Via and Shiso were the same character. It's like fuck me.
Windfall, are you
So anyway,
fine
you wanna
bumping
bump her
Perilla up, or would you be opposed
Yeah, bump
to
her,
that?
bump
fine.
Perilla up.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine
can't,
bumping her
I
up.
can't see her at the same tier as Maple.
All right.
I'm fine with it.
I think Shiso should be pegged down.
Down?
I can't see what's it?
I don't know. He hits
Shiso
so
and
hard on
Shiso and Vio
sideways.
should be together, I think.
He hits harder though.
Not by much. I feel like Shiso and Vio hit by
I
pretty
think
much
by
the same amount.
enough. He two touches. She doesn't.
No, Rio definitely 2 touches.
She shouldn't.
She does for me.
That might be a you thing. I don't be
God.
seeing her 2-touch.
But like,
Not without like successful chases and combos. Like
no,
I feel like she's got to be making guesses for that.
like, no, there's no guesses. It's just like you literally just press spell after spell after spell, and with the occasional weapon in between, depending on the order, and boom, 40-50 damage. It's really that easy.
I suppose we could bump Shiso down.
I
But
just think
I-
Shiso and Dio should be the same. Should be the same tier. Should be next to each other. I can't see them being apart.
I don't know. I think Shiso's combo reliability is way better.
I
But
mean, we could do the alternate and bring her up next to Shizo.
no chance. I am not
Possible,
putting her in
but,
dread tier.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just move Shiso down.
I don't know. I think Violet, like, do you disagree with me generally on her Windfall?
And in terms of what, like on what
I
part
think
of it?
she's generally able to keep up in the matchups that are playable, but I don't think she like is necessarily advantaged against any characters other than like bad characters. But she can keep up with some of the good characters, but she has so many just awful matchups.
I mean, I agree to some extent. Like, I do think she has good matchups, but I also think that the bad matchups matter a lot, and there's a decent amount of them. And it's just like I said, I think this character does really well when you're playing something that doesn't counter her.
When you say really
Otherwise-
well,
Huh?
when you say really well, give me an example of what you're referring to here.
As in, you're
Like,
not
you-
running any front denial, so there's nothing that is really stopping her from trying to go up and take control of the front and kind of get her game plan going. And that's what I mean by she does really well. As in, there's nothing directly interrupting her game plan. Whereas, if you were running something that does do that, then I think
her.
that it becomes a lot harder to play the character. Like I said, if you're playing like Harissa, well then, now you can't
Well,
box. Because
There goes
Harissa
everything
just
you
smacks her in the boxing matchup. So then that makes it a lot harder for her to play the game. Or you're running a significant amount of front denial, which then makes her unable to hit literally anything significant at all, because she can't combo into her weapon because it will be out of range. Because
I
of the
feel
front,
like
because of
having
the tile
that
denial.
many downsides, I can't see her in B. Because I think like the B tiers have either substantial enough strengths or don't have quite as severe flaws.
But yeah, I said in my analysis that I think she's a very polar character, where it's just like
I would agree.
she works when she works, and then she doesn't work when she doesn't work.
And you definitely can't solo main her, which is a big issue.
No, I don't think. Honestly, I don't
Well,
really
that's a
think that
joke.
you're gonna have much success solo maining any character that's like below A. You can get by,
Yeah.
but I don't think you're
Yeah.
gonna like win that much.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I think Violet has it particularly pretty bad. Because I don't know. I think her bad matchups are just so like I can't see Violet Gunner going anywhere but awful.
And the
For the
thing is,
Violet
like,
player,
I do
that-
want to
that
mention
matchup is
with
good.
Violette is that I also just like straight up, you don't really see her being viable outside of like literally the pinnacle of dual speed and gameplay.
Yeah, no, because like
literally the pinnacle.
what players are like really winning with her, other than like the best players in the world? I think that is important to note. The question is like, is our tier list for the pinnacle of play, or is it for like standard high level play, high/top? Because I think it is. I think it is different. Like it's worth noting that Violet isn't seeing almost any real results in play until you get to that just ridiculous you're winning ESL type level of play. I think I think a lot of it just comes to like that she's playable into a decent deal of matchups. And if you're better than your opponents, generally, in like I'd say half the matchups, you're probably gonna just win. Because she does let you outplay. She does let you take initiative and outplay your opponent. In the matchups, you don't get countered. But I don't think she's just winning them on her own. I think she just reflects your player skill well in those. And that's why she can do well as a really good player. I don't think I don't think there's a single matchup she just kind of wins on her own though. Like pretty much everything comes to the player on her, which I can't say for most of the other characters. I think a lot of the other characters have stuff that kind of play themselves or do kind of just reward certain things or bypass certain things. With Violet, you kind of have to play every aspect of the game very well. And I don't know. I think I just can't see her being like. I don't understand how Japan has her in S tier. That one's just.
There's also like the way they do tier lists is that it's that they based on like if you had like that maximum level of skill that of like if you could have like Yuki levels of aim, then it's like to them it's like there's no other possible competition. Like even if you do stuff to counter matchup, all you need is that one. That all you just need to do is just thread that needle one time and it's over it, and then nothing else matters to them.
She does hit hard, but I don't know. S tier.
I mean, like I think I showed you like posted your D play files, like the story of my fucking life. Which is basically hold on.
On this list, are there any other final things we want to look at? I'm fine moving Shiso down to C if you want to. I'm not gonna argue that too hard.
I put Shiso and Via next to each other. I just can't see them. I can't see Shiso ever being above.
So you want to move them down?
Yeah, just next to each other.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
Yeah.
This is our list, and we should wrap this up because we are at 3.5 hours. Imagine trying to do the spell tier list to the same one. Oh my lord, that would have been
him. Yeah, this is. I mean, like the length of this is just about what I expect.
I thought it would be shorter. I didn't think it would take this long. But I guess it makes sense. Like, we all have pretty in-depth knowledge and opinions about this kind of stuff, so.
I crashed out about the last bunch of characters a lot more than the rest.
Well, that's because they had very controversial characters. Like, Terrible?
Yeah.
I still don't know how people think Terrible's not.
I mean, it's like, what do you even do against Hazel? You just lose. Like, if you do Wrench, it's like, well, nice being in melee, I guess. And also, you can't even use, like, summons to tile deny them. Also, it's like, if you're Terrible, just hold sheer. There's no fucking place you can hide.
Yeah. I guess we're good with this list, then.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, sounds good. So this is the Dice from Hitstep certified 100% accurate tier list.
Yeah, sure.
100% objective.
Official.
Low key regarding Terrible, I think it's at a certain point I kind of just have to hope that she gets banned in a tournament rather than figure out what to do against her. But that's just because I made Terra.
I don't know. I think she's fine as is. I think she's a healthy top tier.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Anyways,
on that note,
GG's.
Yeah, GG's gamers. We'll be closing off with that. But nice discussion today. Glad we got to make this. I'll probably post this. I'll post the tier list tomorrow. Because it's like 2 a.m. So I'll post it when there's a bit more activity going on. More people get a look at it. So probably tomorrow, like early, a little bit into the morning. I'll drop this in the tier list channel. And I'll get the video uploaded at some point tomorrow, probably in the afternoon.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too.
Alrighty, well, thank you for watching, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of Dies to Hitstep.